Welcome into the Bro Force Squad podcast. We're coming at you live from 1926-ish time. New York City. Yeah, it's an accurate number. To give you another Wizarding World famous movie commentary on Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Again, I am your host, Brian the Mad Scientist Banner. Mad? I said that weird. Mad Scientist.
Mad.
I'm the Mad Scientist. Alongside me is our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. We have our movies paused with Warner Brothers Pictures. Logo is in the dark clouds. I don't know, we'll say like the 3-second mark. While you guys get your movies synced up, I got a question for Cycli here. Cycli, now a couple months ago, there was some like weird buildings that were falling down in downtown. And I noticed that you were never around and can never tell anybody where you were at when that happened. Can you enlighten us a little bit, or what was like? Where were your whereabouts when those events were going down?
Allegedly.
That answers a lot. All right, folks.
Overruled.
Okay.
Sustained.
I object.
I'm just going to talk in legal terms this entire movie.
All right. Well, this is going to be a really boring movie commentary then. Again, we have our movies paused at the Warner Brothers logo, fully up in the dark clouds. We're going to enter the Wizarding World again in 3, 2, 1, play.
You know, something I want, this is obviously an expansion of the Harry Potter series, one of Brian and I's favorite series of all time. And something I want to see in an expansion is, you know, we get to know that there are healers, there are doctors in this world. I want to see like Hogwarts law school. I want to see the Hogwarts medical school, because obviously this has to exist because there are professions.
Well, you want like a higher education school.
There has to be,
like,
right? Because they don't.
Hogwarts is more of a high school.
High school college is how I kind of.
Yeah, like a high school prep school.
Yeah, high school prep school. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I have to imagine, like, look at these characters. Like, what I like about this expansion universe that we're getting with the Fantastic Beasts, and clearly more. There's more on the horizon if you've been reading what J.K. Rowling's been saying, but. I'm really interested in the education aspect of how this works. What is wizard law like? I know that would be everyone be excited to learn about that.
I thought
right?
you minored in wizard law.
I mean, I personally did that myself.
Gotcha.
But I got kicked out of law school for trying to incorporate it in my classes.
Well, it was a misunderstanding. We all know that.
But wouldn't you be excited about learning about wizard law, man? I mean, doesn't that sound amazing and exciting?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No, it doesn't at all. But I wouldn't mind going to a wizard bar.
Oh, I would be all about that gigglywater.
Yeah. I'm going to start this movie off. I think this is a horrible movie.
Really?
I didn't like it at all.
Interesting.
And I went back and recently rewatched it, you know, doing some research for the pod. And yeah, still, I think that it got a free pass because people wanted to be back in the wizarding world and because people wanted to be in America. Like, we got two things that we wanted. Back in the wizarding world, and we got America. And with that being said, I think the new one that's coming out, which I don't want to talk too much about, but I think that's going to make up for this one. But I didn't like this at all. I would have rather... He's got 50... In that little trunk right there, he's got, what, 50 different beasts? Mm-hmm. I want a story about how he caught all those. I think that would have been interesting.
I mean, I was a little curious when they were telling the first announcement of the expansion universe was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I was wondering how much they were going to, you know, they're keeping it obviously in line with the Grindelwald story. But for a little bit there before this movie came out, you were wondering whether it was just going to be a completely different situation. And it was going to be literally about him finding animals. Now, I don't know how much of a draw that would have had to the public. But people like you and I who are nerds about the series...
Oh, I'd have eaten that shit up. Yeah.
So, we'll get into it as we watch, but what were your big points, your high level, what you didn't like about it?
I just... The way that they got... Obviously, they're telling a Grindelwald story, okay? All throughout the original saga, all 8 movies, it's a Harry Potter story. This, they led us to believe, really up until the very end, this is a Newt Scamander story. And I would have loved that. But instead, they give us a Grindelwald story, but they keep it all hidden and secret. And I didn't think that, I don't know. If you're going to name something Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, why don't you actually find some fucking beasts?
That's my problem with it. And again, I wouldn't say this movie was great or amazing. I find it highly entertaining. I find it, it's a good reintroduction into a new brand of the series. But I had a massive problem with the name of the movie. And I understand why they called it Fantastic Beasts. It was one of the books that J.K. Rowling wrote for, I know she wrote it for charity. All the proceeds went to charity. And so it was kind of already in our world. But the movie, if you know the story is about Dumbledore and Grindelwald. Any true Harry Potter fan who read the books, especially the 7th book, knows how much of
it's a huge story.
That's all it is. And you can tell me about Newt Scamander and how awesome he is, but that's not what the end game is going to be. And so that means Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is going to be the name of the 2nd movie, which is about to come out, the 3rd movie, the 4th movie, or however long they're going to take this into. That's my problem. If they had called it something else, Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald, that is way too long.
Way too long.
Now, if they had called it something else, would you have found it more entertaining?
Maybe.
Or is that really your problem?
Maybe. I mean, that's a huge problem. We'll get into other things that I just think are absolutely stupid, too. It wasn't... I think part of the problem, too, is that we had 8 movies originally building up to... Before I get into anything else, the visuals on this, like this part right here, absolutely incredible. What they've done cinematography-wise and just set-wise and things like that, absolutely incredible.
You can see why. I mean, obviously, money is the number one reason.
Right.
You can see why it's so fun to film like the Wizarding World type movies. The same reason Star Wars and all these other types were successful. Because you can use the movie magic, right? And if you do it right, you do it well, it just comes out amazing. And say what you want about the overall result of the movie, they knock it out of the park with that.
Yeah. But again, name is a big one. We'll get into some other things that I didn't like about it, but I don't even remember where I was going with this, honestly. Now, I will say that Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander, probably the best cast in the entire Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, all of them, probably the best cast. I think he plays...
That's pretty big. That's pretty ballsy of you to say.
I think that he plays...
Alan Rickman and...
Yeah, but you just got to think you have a... First off, he has nothing to compare it to, right? Not really.
Yeah.
So it's a fresh look. It's a fresh character, but he plays a kid that gets kicked out of Hogwarts, is weird, plays with animals. Like he's an outcast, and he plays that very well. I don't know. I thought he did very good in this. He was definitely a high point in this movie.
I think
for
he's
me.
a fantastic beast. Okay, I quit.
I remember where I was going.
See, that helped. My bad jokes help.
This movie, I think, we get 8 movies and they gradually get darker and they gradually get better, and the story are very rich and all this stuff. And then we get this movie, and it reminds me I feel like we took a step backwards. And we're back in Chamber of Secrets or even Sorcerer's Stone, where it's catered more towards kids instead of towards the true Harry Potter fans, with their people our generation, mid-20s to mid-30s era, I would say.
I can understand that. Yeah, I think they had to play a fine line here.
Yeah.
In keeping people intrigued, the true fans, but also bringing in new fans.
Yeah.
And kind of creating a new scenario. I do see the same thing happening here. Obviously, we don't have books to go off it. But I do see, obviously, the next, second, or third film, or however it is, being a little darker. Because the only reason we know that is because we know the context of the story.
We know the end game.
And we know Dumbledore. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Are you afraid that we're going to fall into the same trap that we fell into with the prequels of... the Star Wars prequels, where we know the end game. We know Anakin is going to turn into Darth Vader. We know that the culmination of however many movies they make is going to end in a big fight between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, which Jude Law and Johnny Depp fighting with swords or wands or whatever. Sign me up.
Yeah.
That's going to be fucking awesome.
I still would prefer Colin Farrell, and we're going to get more into that later, obviously, the Johnny Depp casting. But I'm still signing up for sure.
I'm still psyched about that. But are you afraid that we're going to fall into that they're going to take us on this crazy journey, and at the end of the day, we're going to be like, what are these?
Yeah, it's always a concern. And any storytellers, you can find this in all history when you tell a story. When someone knows the ending, and they go into it, it's really hard
Yeah.
to appease them and to get them to, enjoy the film. And even though, we still get excited about it, but we're going to be more critical about it. And, it could be very well like the prequels. You and I, we love them and we hate them at the same time.
It is a
entertaining
love-hate relationship.
But,
for sure.
at the end of the day, if the movies are just okay and have their bad moments, but we get, like you said, Jude Law and, oh my gosh,
Johnny
Depp fight scene. If it's like the fight scene we got at the end of Revenge of the Sith, then
the real question is who's going to end up with the high ground.
Oh, it has to be Dumbledore. I mean, we know he wins, right? What if it ends in the same exact way? Dumbledore is like, Grindelwald, I have the high ground. It's over. Your new empire. We're going to go on a whole new tangent, aren't we?
Your new empire. I stand for democracy. Can you imagine Dumbledore yelling that?
I would actually pay a lot of money to see
I would.
I love the casting of Dumbledore.
I do too. I think it would have been funny, though, even more funny if they cast Ewan McGregor as Dumbledore, because I think he would have played a great Dumbledore as well.
He really would.
I think it would have been fantastic.
I would absolutely.
But that would have been been hilarious. Also, this reminds me a lot of Hornacek just walking around with pastries in his briefcase.
Oh my god! You know who it makes me think of?
Who?
Geiger. Because he's fat.
Yeah, but Geiger's briefcase just has crumbs of pastries because he's so fat.
We'll know if he watched this, if he calls us out on it.
I think I have a big problem with the Niffler, too.
What, a little too childish?
Yeah.
See, I like the Niffler because it was in the books.
It was in the books,
but
and
we didn't get it in the movie franchise.
Again, I agree with that statement, but I also think it looks like a platypus, and I'm not a fan of that.
Whoa. What's wrong with the platypus?
Nothing's wrong with the platypus. That's the problem, is that it doesn't look like a
Niffler. Now we're going to get the platypus lobby on our asses. And as your lawyer, I can't handle that kind of pressure, man. They have the best lawyers.
What'd you think of this guy? I don't know his name. I don't even know his character's name.
Wait, what's his... Isn't that... oh my gosh. Now I have to look at his name.
Jacob. Jacob's his name. Jacob in the...
Yeah, but it's the actor's name.
I don't know what the actor's name is.
I actually thought he did good. I thought it was fun to see a Muggle character... or Nomage.
It was stupid.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
But I mean, I get why they did something different, but
you have to because it's a different part of the world. I get it.
And we do have different terms than them, but
we do.
We'll get into. I actually really enjoyed seeing like a Muggle who became, he turns into obviously someone who cares about the
wizarding world
and vice versa, because you always see like in the original Harry Potter we didn't really get Muggle characters who were fans of the Wizards. We got the Dursleys who hated them, and if you were, we got like maybe Hermione's parents who were more infatuated, but we didn't see them really outside of some references. It was fun to see the two cultures
intermingle.
Yeah, and that's something that I think this did bring. This was something new. I thought he did a great job. I thought he was actually really funny.
I thought he was really funny too. I just wanted your opinion on what you thought of the character and what they did.
I was actually really sad at the end. And spoilers if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, why are you here?
That's because Broforce Squad is fucking awesome, Cycling.
I mean, I love our fans. You guys might be idiots, but I love our fans. I was sad, like they did a good job. Like I was sad when they had to break his memory.
I wish I had a platypus that just shit gold bricks like that.
Oh, I thought you didn't like this platypus. All of a sudden, now you're a big fan.
No, I said I wish I had one.
I mean, I kind of feel like, why would you want one if you're not a fan of it?
Because it shits gold bricks.
I shit gold bricks, and I had to go to the hospital.
You don't shit gold bricks. I've seen your snaps.
Oh, you never respond. I thought you just didn't care.
You never responded to my last one.
I was on my way over here. I do not advocate texting and driving.
Okay. What about snapping and driving?
I was reading your snap while I was driving, but I didn't respond because I am a
responsible driver.
I was actually I had a shower beer before we came over here because I had to prepare and give a good show, and I'm just glad you took a poop. I didn't want you to pull anything.
I did. Yeah, you have to have a pregame. You have to have a pregame dump. Pre-pod poop.
What'd you think of her?
I thought she was fine. I like her sister a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, her sister is a great character. This is Catherine Watterson.
Yeah, I thought she did fine, though.
By the way, his name is Dan Fogler. That's where I know him. He was on Balls of Fury.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why.
Yes. That's
I
a
was like, he's so familiar.
ridiculously dumb, awesome movie.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's
movies
fun.
Like, you can just put it on and.
Yeah.
So I was like, he looks really familiar.
Magical Congress of the United States of America. We can't come up with a better name.
No, we really can't. I mean, think of the name of our country. We're the United States of America. That's not that creative of a name. We literally just were like, oh, we're states that are united. We'll name our country United States. I mean...
But we're United States because we're in America.
Right.
We're not in Europe.
Right. That's why we're United States of America.
But here's my question. Are there United States of literally anything else?
Yeah, I think actually Mexico's full name is like the United States of Mexico or something like that.
I don't believe you. I just thought they were the Republic of Mexico.
Actually, like every country is technically something. Like we just, shorten it to Mexico or.
I don't think you're
I'm
right.
always right. Don't look it up.
I don't.
Don't look it up.
See,
it's
and that's why you're our lawyer. You just tell everybody not to look anything up,
I
and we're
care
fine.
about people's time. I don't want to give false information out there.
Fair enough.
How do you feel about being in America here? I mean, is that something that you think is as Hollywood appeasing the Americans, or was it weird for you to not, be taken out of Britain?
Yes. I'm glad that they took us to America. They allude to magic being in the other parts of the world, and you have to assume there's magic in other parts of the world. I like that they showed us a glimpse of that. I don't know that I necessarily cared to have an entire movie of that, and I better not get an entire series of it. And if I do, take us to Germany, take us to Australia.
I think, the rumor is that we are going to go to other countries.
And I would rather, if every movie was in another country, I'd be happy with that.
Excuse me, everyone, I would like you to know that the official name of Mexico is the United Mexican States.
Of Mexico?
I just looked it up. The United Mexican States. Boom, lawyered.
Okay, give me another
Whoa,
United.
whoa, whoa.
No. That's different. No. That's different. I said the United States of. You said it's the. You
erroneous.
Said the Mexican
erroneous
United States.
Accounts.
That is different. I am right. You're lawyered. Lawyer, you.
I stand by it.
Objection.
Sustained. I also wish, let's talk about him. I had no problem with his casting.
Colin Farrell?
Yeah, why didn't Colin Farrell, I don't know, the whole result of Johnny Depp, I get it's a twist. I would have no problem if the twist was just, he's like, yeah, I'm fucking Grindelwald.
Yeah. I think you have to... How do you feel if you're Colin Farrell? They're like, yeah, we want you in this movie, but the big twist is that you're not going to be in anything else.
What if he's reading the script? He's like, oh, there's going to be 3 or 4 of these?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I really like this character. And he flips to the very last page of the script. And he's like, oh, fuck.
I feel like they had to, Colin Farrell's not in that much, right? He's not around as much as he used to be.
He used to be around a lot more.
And so he's like, shit, I just need some money. Oh, this is guaranteed probably 2 or 3 movies at least. He's like, yeah, sign me up. And they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, it's not 2 or 3 movies. It's just the one.
It's just
unless Grindelwald somehow in the second one turns back into Colin Farrell for a disguise at some point.
I just think he's okay, I don't want to sit here and be a Johnny Depp hater.
Do you like the rat reference here?
Oh, I never noticed.
You never caught that? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's funny because they used to use rat in the books. They say we used to use rats, but the mess was unbearable or something like that. See, that's the knowledge that we bring to the pod, folks. Also, we read the books. Fuck off, Geiger.
Hold on. I got something else for you. Something even deeper.
Okay.
The rat made me think of Peter Pettigrew, who was not who you thought. He was Scabbers, but he was really Peter Pettigrew.
No.
And they show Colin Farrell.
No.
And then they show the rat. He's not actually.
No, you're reading into it.
Come on,
no,
man.
I'm not going to give it to you.
I like it.
I'm not going to give it to you.
I'm a fan. I do like seeing the bureaucratic side of wizard lore.
Yeah.
Because there has to be some control, right? I understand why there's a government, there's a police. I wanted to see more of that.
I want to know. This is groundbreaking. In the United States, we have a black female president. in the 20s.
1926.
Yeah.
What does that say?
The Wizarding
about us
World.
Muggles?
Yeah, the Wizarding World is so advanced.
Well, we do know there is, a little bit of, I wouldn't know if it's racism or prejudice in the Wizarding World among, like house elves and that kind of thing. But good for them for, having diversity within their government.
But house elves kind of deserve it, so.
They seem like pretty willing participants.
How excited would you be if
if
you were like, there's a creature in here and you get some pastries and you're like, well, I mean, cool.
But if he's like,
I'll take a lemon.
Greg, that was a trick. He brought pastries for my birthday.
Wait a minute. Is that a lemon bar? I'll take a lemon bar.
Calls everyone in the office for a big reveal and it ends up being cake. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the only reason to go into the office.
That's not a disappointing thing.
All right, Brian, this happens to you. You go home after a long day. You just failed your family. You're going to lose all your money. You open a briefcase. A bunch of animals come out. What is your first reaction?
Whatever I took, I shouldn't have taken 2. I should have just took 1. What are the odds, though? He brings the exact same briefcase from England to the United States, and this baker has it. They end up in the same bank. It's
basically the iPhone of briefcases at the time.
I mean, I guess so.
Like, everyone has the same damn thing, man. You go to the store, it's everywhere, You get probably $20.
I was going to say, it's probably cheap.
Plus, these are obviously men of low taste. This is when I just run out, and I just don't look back. If there's an excuse to cut tail and run, it's that. You just open a briefcase. And
this little chick creeps me out.
Kids in general creep me out. I love your baby, by the way.
I mean, I don't know how to respond to that.
She's the one kid.
The one kid.
Yeah. I do love this, though. I do like seeing, because you think of the era, I do love seeing the
the Salem witch trials kind of a vibe.
I mean, we have this shit today. I
remember for sure.
When I first saw the first Harry Potter movie, I mean, I had already read the books. There were protests. I mean, this shit exists now, but was a lot bigger back then.
Yeah.
Which is like a bear.
I won't say no.
Water.
Yeah.
Now that was funny.
Yeah.
And the haircuts, man.
Yeah. Again, costume design, set pieces, all of that were fantastic. Here we got whatever his
Flash.
Well, yeah, the Flash. I don't even know what his real name is.
No, it's the Flash.
Oh, that is his name. Okay.
Well, it's Da Flash. He's Dutch.
Yeah.
The Flash. I always feel like movies gotta love the 20s, the 30s, the 40s because like the costume design is fun. Like I feel like movies are sometimes set in that era more so than other eras because of just look at this visual. Like it's fantastic. You go 20 years earlier. How many movies are seeing in 1910? You're not. There's not that many movies in the last decade or the first decade of the 1900s. It's just rare. You get them in around the same area.
Here's a fun fact for you.
I love fun facts.
So Newt Scamander actually had a ticket on the Titanic, but he missed his flight to get on it.
Like for real? Like is this like on the
video? And so that's why he actually made it. But he was supposed to be on the Titanic, and this should have never happened.
But I mean, the Titanic was 15 years before this.
No, it wasn't. It was the same time.
Titanic was
1912. Yeah, that's when this came out.
This is 1926.
It's not 1926.
You literally opened this podcast with, we're back in 1926.
I made that up. Let's be honest, guys. It's 1912.
Is it for real?
For real, for real.
I swear it was 1926.
It's a hot take.
Wait, now you're saying it's a hot take.
Yeah, because it's true.
I really believed you for a second. You did a good job.
No, you should believe me because it is true.
Because you would never lie to me, right?
No. Billy Zane and Newt Scamander are actually best friends.
Don't even.
They're actually boys.
Billy Zane makes an appearance here.
Dude, I would lose my shit. It's like your every movie's connected theory.
Oh yeah, I truly believe that.
Yeah.
Well, it's technically the actors' movies are connected, but I'll take that. Right?
Yeah. Well, we can connect these. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we can definitely connect them.
There's a way. Billy Zane is in Fantastic Beasts. Okay.
If he is one fantastic beast. He
Ayo!
is the beast.
Mr. No Badge. Okay.
Mr. Nomaj was my father's name.
The more I drink, the more I like No Mash.
It's not. It's just to me.
It's not.
It's
creative.
very American.
Yeah.
Like
it's
I
not,
feel like the reason J.K. Rowling called us, or we call it people Nomaj, and she said, you know how dumb I think the Americans are? They call non-magic people Nomaj.
No magic
Those
people.
Stupid fuckers. And you know what? We would literally do that.
Oh yeah.
I got a hot take for you.
Okay.
The Wizarding World is real. All of these movies are based on true stories or documentaries. J.K. Rowling was a witch. She was cut out of the Wizarding World.
Okay.
And sold these stories for millions and billions of dollars, but they're all real.
Well, let me ask you this: is she still a witch or is she a squib?
She's still a witch, but she's been shunned. They broke her wand. Remember, like, that's a thing? Like, they will, like when Harry was getting suspended from school.
Well, yeah, like Hagrid.
Yeah.
Okay.
They broke her wand and shunned her from society because she wrote a book and told everyone.
I don't think so. I think that the Wizarding World, if that were the case, she would have won, and she would just say they would kill her.
You
on
think
accident.
they would kill her?
Yeah, she would fall off. She would fall off a bridge.
But she's a witch. I mean, I feel like she would survive herself.
She wouldn't survive if she didn't have her wand.
I think that would be too obvious. Wizards, maybe, they might shun her, but they're not going to kill. They're going to get theirs.
Yeah.
We have a special guest on the pod.
Yeah. It's Baby Banner. Say hi.
Oh, she's grabbing the mic.
She does.
Everyone
She loves
listening,
the
all
mic.
5 of you, we have a guest. Baby Banner is on. She's going to give our hot takes. She's speaking in the mic.
She's like, I love this little sloth monkey thing that just disappears into things.
This is her favorite movie, right?
Yeah. Well, no, because we don't like Fantastic Beasts.
that's
We
right,
all
that's
think
right.
it's a bad movie.
But as we know, what makes your daughter so brilliant is that she doesn't like what you like sports teams.
Oh, yeah. She hates sports teams. Especially the sports
Your
teams
sports
that I
teams.
like. Right. Yeah. She's not a fan of those things.
Well, thanks, everyone. Thank you for Baby Banner for making your appearance.
So always,
Say bye.
it's a family business around here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is how you provide her food and diapers.
This is it. This is the college fund.
All you people listening out there, you give us all your money.
So this part actually confuses me. So is she related, or are they somehow related to these people?
I feel like I don't think she's related. I think he's related, right? But I think she's just obviously, it'd be like she's like part of the Christian lobby. They know they have money and they have supporters.
Okay.
They make her happy. Her supporters will buy that newspaper.
Okay.
So they have to appease them.
Mary Lou Barebone. Again, all the names are very American.
Yeah. God, the Flash is so creepy.
The little girl is creeping me out. Like, if I had to pick between the two, be alone in a room with them, like spend the night with one of them,
Well,
it would
I feel
not
like
be the little girl.
Legally, I'm going to tell you just stop talking right there. Just don't risk anything.
And that's why we pay you the little bucks.
Wait, I get paid?
Yeah, checks in the mail.
I've been looking in there for years. I haven't
Checks
done
in the mail.
Yeah, calm down, dude. Like, you brought in a bunch of wackos, and then you're going to scream at your father. It's like, he's not going to listen to you.
Mm-hmm. Especially because he has another son whose name is Nicolas Cage in National Treasure movies, who is just as much as a wacko as you.
He really ages amazingly. This is what he looks like in 1926.
Yeah, and that's what he looks like in 2015.
Maybe he's the fucking wizard.
Wait a minute. We might be onto something. Again, all movies are connected.
All actors' movies are connected.
They're all connected. They're all real life.
I know this actress. She's in. I'm watching Sharp Objects. I think that's her.
The little girl?
I think so. She looks familiar in something. Maybe it's not Sharp Object. I just saw her. I'll say that.
I've just seen her somewhere.
I just seen her somewhere.
It might have been the last time I saw this movie, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I know that girl. She was in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find.
She was in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find
Oh,
Them.
that's
right.
I knew she looked familiar.
That's right. One thing that I will say, which if you're listening to us, you're probably not paying too much attention to, but I was very disappointed in the score of this movie. They really get you because the first thing you see where we had it pause, the first thing that turns on is the ba 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 the Hedwig's theme. Like when you think of Harry Potter, that's what you think.
Iconic.
Yeah, and they draw you in with that, but then after that, it's just like, nah, I'm not a big fan, which is really disappointing because after John Williams leaves the Harry Potter movies, and I think Giacchino did a couple of them. I think there was a couple other people that did some. They were all very, very good, all great renditions, and the parts that needed to be exciting were exciting. The parts that weren't. This one, I just didn't feel like it matched it quite as well.
You know, it's been a while since I've watched this movie, probably 4 or 5 months full on, but the fact that I don't really remember the score probably shows that you're right.
That's the thing about a score, and I
remember when it's a good score.
I think I wrote a squad blog about this. Shameless plug. Check out the squad blog. I don't know if we said this earlier, but check out our Titanic movie commentary too. But
if you have 3 hours to kill, do it.
Do it.
It's so good.
I know we're biased, but it is hot fire.
Oh my god.
So what makes a good score is that you don't notice it in the moment, but then afterwards you're like, wait a minute, that was really good.
Unless it's so good, like Duel of the Fates, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, unless it's Duel of the Fates that literally makes the scene. Now, her Teeny's sister here, I don't remember her name. Queenie. Are you kidding me? It's Teeny and Queenie?
The other girl's called Teeny?
Pretty sure that's her name is Teeny.
Maybe it's her nickname. I don't think her name is Teeny. I'm going to look this up.
Okay. If it's Teeny and Queenie, that is even more American and dumb.
Tina. Maybe it is Teeny. I think it's Tina, but I think it's like a, like a nickname.
It's dumb. Either way, I think she's fantastic. And she's got, she can read people's minds, right? The
whole, you know what?
Which I don't really get, because she can acclimate on command, I guess.
What, you don't get that? You don't like that?
I mean, no, I don't.
How would you feel if you were around someone who could read your mind? Would you turned on by it and just be sending dirty thoughts the whole time? Or would you be, freaked out? Honestly,
I would probably freak them out just because they're like, oh, he's just putting on a show. And then 3 days later, when it's the exact same dirty stuff in my mind, they'd be like, wow, this guy's really fucked up.
How do you, as let's say you're a nomad muggle, how do you get someone to stop reading your mind? Just think of the most ridiculous things until they're like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. I'm not reading your mind anymore.
Okay.
How else do you protect yourself?
Do you prefer the strudel or the pie?
What kind of pie are we talking about?
See, that's the question.
If it's pecan, I'm all about it.
Pecan pie, apple pie.
See, apple pie, I'm okay. I might go for the strudel.
And if it's pecan pie, apple pie, or pumpkin pie.
Ooh, pumpkin pie.
I'm all about the pie. Other than that, I'm a strudel. I'm a strudel guy.
Man, we're in October now. I'm ready for Thanksgiving now.
I am too.
Get me ready.
Give me a peach strudel. Ooh. I'm all about, man. Blueberry? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I like the bow truckle.
Yeah.
I like how they incorporated it in. I like how they used it as a character.
Yeah, I like the animals. I like the beasts.
I do too, and that's why I was disappointed that
they should have just made this a one-off, it about Newt Scamander and animals.
And I get,
just name this.
I get that they wanted to make this a series or a saga and make multiples. It's a money decision. I get that, but ease us back into it. Give us the one-off, and then say, and this is a story. This is a statement for another day or a conversation for another day. But with an end credit scene, give us an end credit scene that teases Grindelwald, and then go into 4 or 5 movies of Grindelwald. But just give me a fucking Beast movie, man.
Yeah, expand the world in the fun aspect. I mean,
this right here too is acting. By the way, the scenes with Colin Farrell and the dude from Justice League, yeah, fucking acting. They can both act.
He does a great, like, disturbed.
What's that other movie that he's in?
Where he's kind of the same?
Yeah. Hornacek introduced me to it, and I agree with everything Hornacek said. He's fantastic in that.
Let's see. Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller, thank you.
Let me see if I can find.
He plays this role very well. I think he came out like
right. Perks of Being a Wallflower. Oh, we need to talk about Kevin. Have you seen We Need to Talk About Kevin?
No. That's it though.
He's the school shooter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched. If you are out there and like dark, just heavy movies,
if you think
you're gonna be like disturbed at the end.
Yeah. If you think like, oh, I didn't really like him in Justice League. I think he's okay in this. Holy shit. He is a fantastic actor.
And man, everyone's fantastic today. And maybe the whole thing is
that's the thing. We're the
fantastic.
We're the fantastic Broforce squad.
And maybe the beasts aren't the animals. Maybe the humans are the beasts.
Just look, I haven't had enough beers for this.
All right. I can help you out there.
Yeah.
Some food.
Technically, he's not a cook. Technically, he's a canner.
Yeah, dude, you do pastry.
You literally can't cook. Like the bank told you're not allowed to cook.
Oh my god, he should be all over that because he's out of his league.
Oh, he is. Yeah,
and she's just infatuated because
yeah,
she's never been with a guy like him before. But honestly, like if there's one thing I want to fucking eat in the Wizard World, particularly the Great Hall of Hogwarts.
Shit, man. No shit.
Man, that would be the
like,
dream. How are more wizards not fat?
That's what I'm saying. Especially if you go back to the originals, Ron.
Oh man,
dude,
Ron is double fisting all the time.
He's got and that's just with Hermione. Hey-oh.
That was one double fist of woman.
Trust me, it's an art.
Well, I've never touched a woman before, so
right.
I'd love to know.
I think that he's got to have like a tapeworm in him, or like.
I just got to imagine there's a spell to not be fat.
Yeah. See, this part right here really shows how well Redmond played this role. Like, he's all covered up, like, oh, this shit's weird, but I have to stay.
I think just overall, they cast it well. I still stand by that this is, and so far we're, 30 minutes into it. I feel like it's just entertaining. Like it's not a movie I'm gonna go home and be like, oh wow, that was just so.
See,
great.
and that's where. But let me ask you this: 3 years ago or 2 years ago, or however long it was, when this did first come out, did you feel like, oh, it was great?
I remember
out of the theater.
I remember coming out just being entertained.
Right.
I remember leaving the theater going like, it did what it needed.
I liked it, but like,
It's kind of how I feel about the first couple of Harry Potter movies. Like, they really simplified it. They made it very childish, and I still am entertained by them. It's just asking what yourself. I'm not gonna come here and watch this movie once a month, but every time it's on, I'm like, hey, why not? This is fun. This part.
This part's fun, and this is again, we get the beasts.
We get the animals, yeah.
And
anytime we can expand the world and stuff we haven't seen before. And that's what this movie was supposed to be for me. We got the school, we got the Harry Potter story. This was supposed to be new. And it is new. It's in America, and it's like, oh, it's adult and there's government. But like this is truly what we were,
This is what I was looking for.
And tell everyone, this isn't just coming from nowhere. Mr. Banner, you are an animal person.
I am an animal person.
In a lot of ways.
I am an animal person. I have
worked with many.
Lots of animals at my home. I did it as a profession for a long time. I made a career out of caring for and taking care of animals. I mean, I'm almost a real life Newt Scamander. I'll be honest with you.
I have you on the witness stand now. So, is it fair to say that you may be a little biased here, sir, in wanting more beasts?
You could say that. But if you actually really did know me, you know that I don't like keeping animals in cages and keeping them in captivity if it's not necessary, which I feel like Newt Scamander is out he's a collector collecting.
But how do you feel like, okay, but that's a good point. I agree.
And
no
we've
Asian-
had lengthy conversations in real life about keeping animals in captivity
How do
when
you
they
feel
shouldn't
about
be.
this magical sense of keeping them in captivity, though? Because it's not like the animals are in a tight space. Like we see here in a few minutes how vast these animals can live in this magical world. Like they are in a briefcase, yes, but they are able to run around like they're in the valley. You know?
To an extent, I agree, but also the reason for him capturing all of these, and we know this, it's published knowledge, he is writing a textbook, right?
Yes.
The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a textbook in the original saga or series or whatever. And in this, he says at the very end, he says, I'm going back to England. I'm going to give him my manuscript. Like, he is doing this for educational purposes. But again, I don't know, why does he need to keep them? Learn how to catch them, learn about them, and then release them.
Doesn't he say he's saving these and then he's taking them back to their original habitat? See? Right here. He's releasing him.
He was releasing them so he can mate.
Oh, see, to bring Frank home. I think that's what he's taking them to the Wild Wild West. And look at that. Like,
that's a cool bird.
yeah.
Or
Hippogriff?
it's not a hippogriff.
It's not a
though.
hippogriff?
No, it's a frank.
See, he found him in Egypt.
No, it's definitely not a hippogriff. Hippogriffs are much different than that. I think it's hilarious too that it's Arizona.
Fuck
Like,
Arizona, man.
It's wow. What do you have against Arizona?
Huh? What? No, I love
Jesus. Obviously you don't. That's very aggressive towards our Arizona fans. I apologize to all of our fans from Arizona. I have family lives in Arizona. I lived in Arizona. That's I'm mad at you now.
I was just, I thought about it a lot. I apologize to the people of Arizona.
No, you didn't.
I
You hate people from Arizona.
You know what? I do. Everyone in Arizona can go suck a fuck.
Why?
I don't know. I'm embarrassed. I'm insecure about it. I went to Arizona once and someone made fun of me.
This thing is fucking cool too. This like squid lion thing.
Like not sure what it is,
Yeah.
but it's awesome.
He's like, let me make out with you.
See, I just love this creativity.
It is.
I love this ability to say, hey, you know what? We're creating this new world and we can do whatever the hell we want. We can make anything look like anything.
Here's another thing too. The acting has gotten so much better over the years of acting with green screen and computer generated animals and stuff. If you think about, let's go back to one of my favorite movies, Jurassic Park. Half of that movie was CGI. Half of that was actually puppets. Anytime they actually touched or interacted with the animal, it was a puppet. Everything in here is CGI. And you can't tell the difference. I think that's a big testament to where technology has come now. And not only that, but to these actors that are literally acting and reacting to nothing.
There's a scene in the very first Harry Potter movie where Harry is seeing he's learning about Quidditch for the first time from Oliver, and he's showing him the quaffle and the snitch, and the snitch goes off, and him and Oliver are both looking in completely different directions of where the snitch is, and it just makes me think of that how far we've come in terms of that kind of stuff, because it's hard. They're both looking in awe at something, and they don't know where this thing is supposed to be. But
I think
this is impressive acting for any of this genre with its CGI. I'm sure how hard is that on the actors? Like, they don't know what's actually happening in front of them.
Well, and not only that, but all this stuff is done in post.
Yep.
So what are they looking at right now? Like, honestly, they could be holding a big giant turd. Like a big green piece of shit.
What if it actually is? They're watching it for the first time at the premiere.
I bet they do.
And they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was holding poop.
Why? And look how happy I look to be holding
Little
shit.
did you guys know the turd burglar.
Oh,
the turd burglar showed up on set for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Check out our American Vandal Season 2. Not a commentary. What is it called? Review. Thank you. I think that's a really cool line. I know this is real because I don't have the brains to make this up.
Which is like kind of scary because if I see something like that, I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough for this.
No.
I'm going to go ahead and panic here.
And you're probably the smartest one on the pod.
Which is really sad.
Which is
because I'm
really
not
sad.
Smart.
Yeah.
What does that say about you, man? Come on, you're the smartest one on the pod.
I don't know about that.
I mean, we both will agree that, Hornacek and Geiger
are the dumbest.
It's just like
Yeah.
sad,
Yeah.
Man.
Like on a scale of 1 to 100, you got like Hornacek and Geiger probably like 0 to 10.
You and me are tied at 66.
Yeah, or yeah, something like that, or 69-ish.
Yeah, 60. No, I think on good days you're 69, and I'm 69. And
This one's not real. This one's not real creative. I didn't like him, but I like the little lion thing.
I like these that just.
But I like these that just appear and disappear. Yeah.
It'd just be fun. It would be fun to just sit in a room and just come up with, anything. See
This right here, again, the acting is just fantastic. He is literally, there's nothing but green around him or blue, and he has to throw something in the air. He has to pretend that it floats, and he's feeding these like little lamb bird things.
Have you ever watched behind the scenes of this kind of shit?
They're ridiculous, man.
It's so
funny.
If you haven't, just go Google a couple movies like Lord of the Rings or something like this where, they're just behind the green screen and CGI and watch the actors. It's seriously so funny.
How do you feel about this here, this Obscurus?
See, this is where I get a little unfair in my fandom. It's something I wish we had heard about in 7 books.
I agree. I don't understand why we didn't.
But then at the same time, I have to admit, would we have really heard about everything? I don't know.
Well, again, this goes back to your statement earlier, the education and where we're at. When would somebody in the wizarding world learn about this?
Yeah, think about when Harry tried to learn about Horcruxes, and that was
shunned upon.
Do not do that. And the only reason Voldemort got away with it is because of how manipulative.
Yeah,
he
he's
was.
so charismatic,
and he wasn't supposed to. So and that's the thing. If everything's forbidden, that means there has to be a higher education. Yeah. There has to be a level at which it's not banned, it's not shunned. Because if they get through Harry was in his 6th year at that point.
Right.
He had 1 year left. It's not like, hey, this is forbidden, but come back next year.
Yeah.
Take this class and you'll learn about it. There has to be some sort of advanced wizarding education. But the Obscurus, I like it. I don't hate the idea.
This is one part that I actually started to not like. Okay, they realize this thing is missing. Okay, cool. Again, I'm all about that. But this scene coming up when they have to catch it is just... I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's too over the top. It's too out of left field.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the scene.
We'll wait till the scene. I'm going to pee real quick because I think I can get back before it starts.
Are you nervous about this?
No, I just had 4 beers and I have to pee.
No, I know, but you feel confident going into this?
About the pee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can hit the toilet.
All right, man. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. If you want me to send you some texts.
I need some inspirational talk.
I'm just going to be in here all by myself here. So here we go. This is I actually don't hate this. I like the adventure aspect of this. And again, we go back and you take it. It takes it to the frame of mind of the time, the era of what this would be like. And it's fun seeing New York in this 20s age. I think, again, it's something I said earlier. It's something that Hollywood shows us again and again because it has such a cinematic effect in the disturbing Christian haircut, suits, orphanage. I mean, it's something that we've all seen a couple times, but it's done so well in this movie. So, and sadly, the parts of area that we live, we see it everywhere. We see it everywhere, Banner.
Everywhere.
We still see it today. I was talking about how these kind of people still exist.
Oh, yeah. Not gonna lie, one time in college, let me get back to the mic here. Not gonna lie, one time in college, I hung out with them for like a week because...
The anti-wizard people?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't know where I was at, and I was like, man, they look like a lot of fun. We get to dress like steampunks all the time. It was a mistake. I'll just say that. Didn't end well for me.
That's where we met.
Yeah, right? So like, okay, this is kind of cool. It's a little mysterious. I'm still on board. You still got me at this point.
I'm just surprised because, again, this is the more animal side of the film.
Yeah, but it wasn't the whole, I don't know. This is cool. Their relationship. I like that. Look, very quick character development, but this scene right here really ties them together for life, if you will.
What I'm impressed is, like, let's say you befriended a wizard. Like, this is real. Would you
real.
be friending? Like, would you be excited, or would you be like, what the fuck? This world exists and I don't have powers? Because I would be really jealous and upset.
I would be jealous, but at the same time, you got to play the politics at that point. So you're like, wait a minute. You could fix a lot of shit and you can really protect me. That's somebody I need in my corner.
And I bet at this point, too, when you're just getting introduced, you'd be like, I bet there's a spell that they could make me a wizard, too. And if I play my cards right.
Like a potion I can drink or something?
Like if I play my cards right.
Yeah.
So wait, the first one when they find the, what's it called? The Niffler? This is what you don't like?
Okay, the Niffler, I've already...
I mean, this scene, or was it the big
It's the big hippo thing that I'm not real big fond of.
I do like how he's acting like he's a mannequin here.
The Niffler's cute. Okay, all right. The platypus is cute. It's kind of funny. It gives us that comic relief. And maybe that's part of my problem with this movie is that in the later movies, we didn't get the comic relief.
Yeah.
And we got so much of it in this.
The comic relief at one point.
Now, the book still had the comic relief. They always did. But the movies stopped really in the fifth one. The sixth one did, I think, just because Daniel Radcliffe figured out how to actually act at that point.
I mean, the difference between the first couple movies and the last couple movies for him is just...
Yeah.
He wasn't ever bad, but you can see how much better he got.
Yeah. I still don't know that he was ever good.
Yeah. He got good. I think the last couple, he was good.
I think that in the first three, he was young.
My friend.
He didn't know what he was doing. I think the fourth one and the fifth one, he was just shithouse hammered the entire time, and you could tell. I think the sixth one, he got sober and actually got serious, and I think he did the best.
Which is funny because the sixth one is where he had to be a drunk guy for a little bit. Remember
right.
when he drinks the potion?
And I think that I think he did very good. The CGI right here, ducking and dodging to nothing is incredible. The sixth one, I think, was his best job. And then, obviously, you have the seventh and eighth movie, which are one movie. He really...
Oh, the scene where, like, Voldemort's, like, getting in everyone's head and he's feeling his Horcrux. Like, he sells that, man. He does
a great job. And he really... That was the first time, I think, in the sixth and really the seventh and eighth movies, I realized, okay, this kid can't act. But up until that point, no.
I love this.
Lion?
You know, I don't need, like, 8 cops. Like, you know, like, one of the cops should be like, hey, you guys killed the lion. I'm going to watch these guys.
Let's be honest. If you were in New York City and you saw a lion just walking down the street, don't tell me you wouldn't run. Or at least get back in your fucking car.
Yeah, but the problem with the car in New York City is, like, you're not going anywhere. So, like, you just sit in your car. I think the lion's going to bust through, man.
Maybe. I don't know. It all depends on bite pressure. How mature is this lion?
I also think, I don't know.
See, right here. He's like, here, wear baseball gear.
Yeah, wear this helmet. See, and the thing is, I will say this, the problem with this movie, and I still am thoroughly entertained, I'm enjoying it, it just doesn't know what it wants to be.
It doesn't. It switches tones so many times.
Does it want to be a fun, lighthearted, like, you know, movie about magic and animals, or is it, like, a deeper story? And I get that it can be both a little bit, but, like, I just feel like, what movie did I come to see?
It didn't know where it wanted to go until the end. And that's definitely a big problem.
And it was a long ride to get there.
It is. It really isn't a very short movie.
Yeah, here's a... Yeah, I love when someone's like, hey, don't worry about it, but just go ahead and put this bulletproof vest on. I'm like, what?
Typical Tuesday.
Wait, I have nothing to worry about, though.
Yeah. No, nothing to worry about. Pretty much me and Geiger just, when we go to the bar, like, probably should just wear this just as precaution.
Wait, you drink?
Never before in my life.
Oh my God, thank God. Because I would set these Christian, evangelical,
Anti-wizard people, right? This part right here, he's like, okay, I'm gonna put this little musk on, and then this. Again, he's acting to nothing, and I get that. But this stupid dance thing, it's so long, and it's funny on the surface, but when you think about it, you're like, why do we need this? Where does this get us in the story?
You know what they say about that musk? It works 60% of the time, every time.
You know what? I've got the rest of the movie from here. Just go ahead and go home.
Wait, what? No, I'm having a good time.
No, it's fine. Movie's over.
Wait, no, but there's a
No,
lot
pretty
left.
much.
I think there's like
over.
another 45 minutes.
No, there's like nothing left. It's just the credits after
Let's-
this. Again, how does this advance the story? How does this advance the movie? Like, again, I love the fact that this is how you catch this particular animal. But how does that advance the story? How does that get us to the Obscurus? How does that get us to Grindelwald?
Maybe the writers just thought it'd be really funny to watch him. They maybe didn't
And
like
I'm not
him as a
disagreeing
person.
with that.
They're like, let's make him look like a fucking idiot.
This looks like Hornacek when he's trying to pick up a chick at the bar.
God. It's just cool that Geiger's mom was cast in this film.
Oh, fuck. You know what's funny is because this is a Harry Potter derivative.
He's not gonna watch
He's
it.
never gonna watch
And
it.
we will find out if he does, though.
Probably honestly, probably 5 years from now, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, those are pretty good movies. I think I'm gonna watch your guys' commentaries." And be like, "Fuck you guys." Again, CGI is incredible, but it just does nothing for me story wise. It doesn't move us along.
You know, it's funny. Again, I think it goes back to your problem of it being that it doesn't know what it is, because I feel like the movie you were looking for with the animals is this is the part you should enjoy. I feel like.
I think if they took away the Obscurus thing and they took away Grindelwald, this would fit right in and it would be perfect.
Would people have seen it? Let's be honest.
No.
Other than
There's
real
not a
Harry
chance.
Potter
No,
fans.
there's not a chance in hell.
Now, like again,
Okay,
real
this is
Harry Potter
again.
fans,
This is cute.
if you make a movie for real Harry Potter fans, you're still getting a couple $100 million.
Easy.
The question is, you get to the new line is the $1 billion.
The problem is, do we know this? How much money did they put into this movie?
Nope. Let me look that up.
I mean, I'm sure it's got to be 150.
Yeah, it has to.
175.
I bet you it was more expensive than the actual Harry Potter movies.
I bet it's on par with some of the older /
Budget was 180 million.
180
and
million.
it made 814 million. And that puts it around like the new line for blockbuster movies nowadays is like the upper 750 million to $1 billion range. If you hit $1 billion, it's
That's a great
massive.
movie. You did a good job.
But if you're over 800 million, that's fantastic.
That's still a great. You're
But-
so dumb.
Yeah, it was the 8th highest
Look,
grossing film of 2016.
You're turning into Arnold Schwarzenegger with the Fantastic Beast puns, and his ice
to
puns
meet
in
what killed the dinosaurs?
Batman
the
and
Ice
Robin.
Age.
That's another movie commentary you guys should check out.
8th highest
Honestly,
grossing film, but it wouldn't have been that. Like if you take your Harry Potter fans, your fans like you and I, who will see anything with Harry Potter attached to it, it makes 250 million, which in Hollywood terms is still fantastic, but it's not going to make.
it doesn't cover its
800
costs though, and that's the problem.
So you had to add the
deeper story, the connected universe, if you will, the more stories.
I do think there is, and we're going to get there here in a little bit, but there is some seriousness in this movie that I do enjoy.
Definitely get there, and again, not mad about any of it. All I'm stating is you need to be one or the other. You can't be both. And I think that in subsequent films after this, they're going to pick a direction. They've picked a direction. We know that direction. It was very clear what direction that was going to be at the end of this movie, and again, based on what the title of the next movie is going to be. With that being said, I don't know. This movie got a free pass because it brought us back to the Wizarding World after 10 years, and then that's what it is.
I know we don't want to get too into it because we want to talk about this movie, but are you excited about Crimes of Grindelwald?
I am. You have to also remember, I'm one of the weird ones, like Geiger. I love Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So when they cast him and I saw him as Grindelwald, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. let's go. But with all that being said, I think that it's going to be great. We see Hogwarts again. We have Dumbledore.
Yes.
All the everything that the trailer is giving us. Okay, I'm in. But that's kind of stuff that I wanted in this movie. I'm not going to lie to you.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, they should have just made this a Grindelwald movie from the start.
And this dude, okay, what significance does he have?
Just isn't.
And this dude, what significance does he have?
It's just showing the nomage, the political effect, and the climate. Because they're the ones who are investigating. I mean, go to kill him because they were anti-wizard.
Because they wouldn't get.
They're just showing the age. They're just showing the time and the history of like.
I just feel like if you're gonna kill somebody, your main bad guy, which is the Obscurus. At this point, it's not Grindelwald. It's not Graves, Colin Farrell, whatever. It's the Obscurus. It is Clearance or whatever his name is. Cleavance. Cleavage. Whatever his name is. Credence.
Cleavage.
It's what's the significance of this dude dying? It
just shows that like they're impacting both societies here. The whole reason behind this is Grindelwald is behind this, and Grindelwald was someone who wanted to kill Muggles, nomage, and so. But
Grindelwald didn't kill him, and Grindelwald didn't tell him to kill him.
Yeah, but
he just did it.
We obviously, if you're seeing this movie for the first time, you don't know this, but we do know that Grindelwald is in contact and is influencing.
But Grindelwald doesn't even know that because Grindelwald thinks it's the fucking girl.
Yeah, but he's still like, whispering in his ear. No. I see it. I understand why you're a little bit like, it's a little much. But, I mean, if you're going into the grand scheme of things and the story, that we're going to get dark, we're going to get deeper in this fact that Grindelwald wants to kill, nomage, muggles, and also wizards. Because he has the belief, if you haven't read the books, that, wizards are superior. They're pure. Mm-hmm.
The greater
good. They shouldn't be hidden. They should be out in the open.
I get that. I just think it's dumb. I think it's stupid.
I think you're an idiot. I hate you.
I don't believe you, but okay.
I know. I love you. I'm drunk. I just feel everything right now. I'm not actually drunk, though.
I'm definitely not sober.
Beers. I need more beers.
All the beers. Give me some gigglywater. Yo, I'm not lying, though. Fire whiskey?
Oh, man. I want
Dude,
that. Did you have some?
I've never had fire whiskey.
Well, I was going to ask, I have not, unfortunately, been to Harry Potter World.
Yep, been to Harry Potter World. I had some...
You had butterbeer.
I had butterbeer, which is basically cream soda with some sort of liquor in it. Couldn't tell you what, but some sort of liquor.
Was it strong?
No, I mean, you're at an amusement park, so it's hard because you're paying $13 for something, and it's hot. It was the middle of the summer when we went, so it tasted good. It was refreshing.
That's good. I would be nervous that it would be like a little too much with the cream.
It wasn't too heavy.
That's good.
Yeah. Now, we also ate at the Hog's Head, and it was like a family-style dinner. So we basically got an entire chicken with like potatoes and carrots and everything along the side, and it was very tasty.
Which is funny because you'd think they'd have a three broomstick, which would be more family-themed. The Hog's Head in the books was the kind of dingy place.
I think they do have a three broomsticks. We just didn't eat there.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Also, this setup of this room doesn't look comfortable for everyone else.
Well, what I'm
do I have to stand up the whole time?
Well, let me ask you this. So is this like a world council?
I think this is the American Senate Council, whatever.
So all these people are American?
Yes. She looks native.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean native?
To America. She ain't white and she ain't foreign is what I'm saying. She native.
I ain't no army brat. That's what you reminded me of.
I ain't no
Tokyo Drift. Check out, I think we have reviews on every Fast and Furious. Check those out.
Wait, really?
I'm pretty sure.
All 8 of them were
Yeah,
nominated.
it's Hornacek's like favorite movie series.
I know it is, but I didn't know you guys had done all of them.
Yeah, I think we did them all.
6 Fast, 6 Furious was an interesting title.
Yeah.
I think they should have just done that with all of them.
2 Fast, Furious was
12
my
Fast,
favorite. Furious and Fast was a good one.
What a twist! It's reverse.
Yeah.
Which one came first?
Yeah, I really liked how they had to drive in reverse the entire movie. And instead of stealing money, they were giving money back.
It's a really beautiful. Actually.
Yeah, it was
was
really an
really
Oscar
Robin
snub.
Hood.
Yeah, Robin Hood-esque Oscar snub.
I always love when I watch movies, and this happens in Star Wars, especially the most recent one, Last Jedi. When they arrest people, they always put them in the same fucking cell. That's not realistic.
As somebody that's been arrested numerous times, never happens that way.
Look how many cells are in this area.
Never happens.
Like I
that
just
way.
love in movies when
And
they do
how
this.
is nobody else in trouble?
Yeah,
it's
and
America.
It's New York City.
There's got to be other people.
There's some drunk out there drinking too much giggly water or whatever it's called.
Giggly water.
I'm just saying, like, but this happened in
so
Last Jedi.
stupid.
Like, I hate it. Why would you, if you were
Where's
a cop,
Benicio del Toro?
why would you arrest people who are obviously in some sort of conspiracy and then put them in the same?
Like, guys, we're just gonna put you in the same thing. Just get your story straight.
Just don't. Yeah, get your
That's
story straight.
that's all we need you
And
to do.
don't talk about what you guys should do.
Right. And so this is the first time we're learning what an obscurial is.
Yeah, what happened to the all-welcoming American nomage? Now they're hating on the Obscurus or whatever. Obscurial, whatever. See, I like that, and that's what I hope we get more into. That's why I want to see Newt's story by itself. Like he went to Africa. He's
Right.
been all over the place.
Yeah, I want to see him. I want to see the story of him getting that first
Would
obscurial
it
and
work
locking
more
it
in
up.
a mini-series type of way, though? Because, like I said, I
I
don't think
think
you're going to get people going
We
to
say
pay
this
money.
all the time. I think an X-Men story would work much better as a Netflix original or even a TV show. I think Newt's story would work great as a miniseries, like a 10, 12 episode. Each episode he's
watch
getting
the
a
hell out of
different.
that, man.
Each episode he's getting a different beast, and it ends with him. The last episode ends with him walking on a boat to America.
I'd watch that.
I think that would be fantastic. A great lead up to this movie, and it would all make sense. It would put more context to this movie and moving us forward into the Grindelwald story.
How much do you think she's the Obscurus, right?
She, dude, I was convinced. She's creepy as fuck.
Oh, I'm not going to say anything on podcast. Sorry. I got a major sports information.
Uh-oh.
Good news for my team. I'll just say that.
Good news for your team.
Yup.
Ronnie Cycli he's keeping his fandom at bay here.
Sorry, I'm letting Mr. Banner read this.
Wow.
Banner and I are fans of rival teams. Just so everyone
Wow.
knows.
Honestly, that is the best move for your team.
Oh, yeah.
Best move for your team.
Has to happen.
We've been saying that for years.
Has to happen.
I've been saying that for years.
Guys, I'm a fan of a team that has a horrible defense, and that defensive coordinator just got fired. Make of that what you will. Back to Fantastic Beasts.
So, let me ask you this. Did you know Colin Farrell was Grindelwald going into this movie? Did it get spoiled for you?
No, I had no idea.
Okay. So, you had no idea
Well, okay,
going into this.
I'll say this. I had no idea, but I had an assumption. I had to assume the basis of the film, the timeline of the film, this had to result back to Grindelwald.
So you just inferred because of your Harry Potter knowledge,
Yeah, that
this
it had something
and
to do
somehow this was connected to
But
that.
did I like the end? You know, I didn't see the end coming.
I didn't either.
Right, like, and I wasn't. I didn't. Now I'll say this: I didn't leave going like, "Oh, what a twist! He's Grindelwald the whole time. It was Johnny Depp." Like, I didn't do that. I was like, "Okay, yeah,
I
that
get
makes
it.
sense."
Yeah.
Like,
So I had it spoiled that Johnny Depp was in it and that he is Grindelwald. I did not know how he was involved or not. So obviously the very first thing we see is the back of Johnny Depp's head. You know that's Grindelwald. You know that's Johnny Depp.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. And at this point in the movie, I'm like, where the fuck is he? Like I kept waiting.
It was like I said, I would have had no problem with Colin Farrell being like the reveal, him sitting there being interrogated, and then going, Mr. Grindelwald. Like that would have had the same effect for me. Now, I don't hate Johnny Depp. I don't. I'm not a Johnny Depp hater. I just don't like that. He used to be an amazing actor, and he still is. He has talent. I just don't like he's become a caricature of himself. The last few movies where he just basically plays some kind of same character. Yeah. I think he can do this right. I just don't want him to be fucking Jack Sparrow in this.
I don't think he will be. I think that's one of Johnny Depp's talents is, yes, he plays the same person, but he eats, breathes, and lives Jack Sparrow. He is going to eat, breathe, and live Grindelwald. So I think we're gonna get the best that Johnny Depp can do. I think a lot of it has to do with the writing as well and how much freedom they give with him to be his own kind of a person. Because I think that's where his strength is as Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, is that they said, here's the character, here are the lines that we want you to say, but say them how you want and kind of do things your way. And I hope they do that with this.
I hope he does, because I think he can do it.
I truly believe that he is going to read everything he can. I would bet that he would go and he's going to have multiple lunches and dinners and meetings with J.K. Rowling and really learn the character and become the character.
I hope you're right. Yeah.
And I think I truly believe that he's going to do this. This scene is incredible.
But I was going to get back into this right here.
This is incredible.
I want to believe you about Johnny Depp, and I'm going to be optimistic. But here is where I see, a twist in the movie.
This is when the movie gets good.
I start liking the movie a lot more. Like, so far, it's just kind of been like sitting there. It's just kind of taking its time and just like, hey, here's what the movie's about, and we're back in the world. I really love the seriousness of this.
And we've got let's get a timestamp here. We got about an hour left of the movie at this point.
Little under, yeah.
Little under with credits, but more or less an hour left. This, for me, is when the movie gets good.
It's just like the seriousness, and that's what I always liked about Harry Potter in general, because people like to say it was a kid's book, and yeah, it is in a lot of ways. But
the first two, of course, it's a kid's book. Once you get into the third one, they start building on each other,
and it's something that kids can enjoy. But just because it's something kids can enjoy doesn't make it a kid's book. For me, it's a everyone book. Yeah, literally, it appeals to from young and old, and this is something that, like, the seriousness of this scene right here is something I didn't actually expect. That's a bigger twist to me when I watched this movie, was this scene in particular. Well, right now we're not there now. Yeah, coming up. The break-in scene. But the interrogation is just dark.
And that's, again, another problem I have with the movie. Up until this point, it's not a dark movie. And then all of a sudden we try and go dark? Like, what are we doing here? Make up your fucking mind what kind of a movie you want to be.
Yeah.
Do we want to be a dark movie? Do we not want to be a dark movie?
I think there was just this thing where they had to we got to get people in the door.
I get it.
In the door with this.
We at this point, when did this come out? 2005 or 2015?
I was like, what?
No, 15. I'm sorry.
Is it 16 3 years? 2 years.
15, 16, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're what, 8 years removed from the eighth one?
2016.
So 2016, and the newest one came out.
It comes out in a couple weeks.
No. I'm sorry. Deathly Hallows Part 2. It came out in 08?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, 09.
09?
10, yeah.
Okay, so we're 7 years removed.
Yep.
At that point, you have to attract a younger crowd. We have to get that next generation. They tried to do essentially what the prequels tried to do with our generation. Okay, you have our parents. Now we have to get the younger generation in. Totally get all that, but you went very serious. This fucking animal is cool as shit, by the way. Little, I don't know, evil, whatever it is.
I think you're right. It's funny, though, like, we're talking about prequels and parent generation, but these are a lot closer together, you know?
They are a lot closer together, which I think is why the different tone direction, whether it's dark or not dark, is so confusing because it's still close enough to the original series.
Yeah, this whole thing. I will say this, and here's my hot take. This is my massive prediction. I think you and I have talked about it. I don't think you agree, but maybe I'm wrong. My big thing is, in 20 or 30 more years, we're going to get a full
We have talked about this.
Of Harry Potter. We're going to get the books again, with a reboot, with a recast and everything like that, because that's when they're kind of capitalize on our children and the people who grew up with Harry Potter having kids, and those kids are going to be in their 20s at that point. Like, that's going to be, I think that happens. So I think we're going to get the next 20 years.
I think you're right, but I think they have to go longer. Maybe I think they have to skip our kids and go to our grandkids.
It's like 40, 50 years.
Yeah, like 40 years maybe to really recapture what they captured.
Being 70 when that
That's insane. Good news is we'll probably still be running marathons with modern medicine.
Oh, yeah, because I run marathons now.
Right? Look,
that's how good medicine's going to be. You run marathons? Yeah. Here's some medicine to help you keep going.
It's
like that joke where someone gets surgery. Like, Doc, will I still be able to play the piano? It's like, well, of course. And they're like, well, I wasn't able to play before.
Yeah. It's like, have you seen the movie Click, Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah,
so stupid.
Time ago.
Yeah. And it's like, they do surgery on him to keep him alive or whatever.
Excuse me. That was
very clever.
Adam Sandler's
better movies, I would agree. Especially
pretty serious.
Especially later on in his career. Now it's everything he makes is trash.
I just like all this. I kind of like something I liked in the original movies too. I like seeing where the government was in the first films. I don't know. I just enjoy the interaction. I like seeing how society works for this world. It's just something that I always cared about in the books, like stuff visually you talked about but didn't get to see. Yeah, I'd fall for her too, man. Yeah, she's not like hot. She's like fun, cute. Yeah. Like, man, you're a good time. She'd keep you laughing.
Would you take her home to mom though?
Oh yeah,
I think so too.
No, your mom will probably be like,
your mom is gonna hate her
for a little bit.
Mom's definitely
gonna hate her.
Eventually,
she's gonna be like, I can't not like her anymore.
Is this when he gives him the necklace?
Yeah, this is.
I don't remember when it was, but that was whenever. Okay, wait a minute. Again, shit's getting real. This is cool. Okay, here's a question too. How does he do magic without a wand?
I mean, it's possible. Remember, like, Voldemort did it. But remember, it was like J.K. Rowling once said, like, the wand is just a channel that makes it easier to use magic. I think, I don't think it's something everyone can do.
Like, you have to be a powerful dark wizard.
Yeah. Or just power. I bet you Dumbledore could do it or something like that.
But Dumbledore is on his fucking high horse, and he's not going to do it.
Yeah, because he's... Get over yourself, Dumbledore. Which we don't know. We'll see here in a little bit in the next movie.
We'll see.
Okay, I've heard things from that. This is going to be a 5-part movie.
I've heard 3, 5, 7. I don't think they really know. I think they know this is where it's going to end. And as long as people are going to be making movies, we're going to...
I wonder if they're going to base it off how the second one does. If this makes $800 million too.
I bet it breaks the $1 billion mark.
With nowadays, yeah. I won't be surprised, especially if people know that we're getting Jude Law, we're getting Dumbledore, we're getting Hogwarts. That's what people really want to see. It's so funny to me that people always act like they want something new. I'm one of those people. I want to see new things that we haven't talked about, things we haven't seen before. At the end of the day, you show me Hogwarts, you show me Dumbledore, you know I'm going to sign up for that. And I think everyone's kind of guilty of that. Like, we want new things, but we also want that comfort. We want what makes us happy. And we're going to get Grindelwald. We're going to get Dumbledore winning. And I guarantee, this is my prediction, the end of this movie, of the series, the next 3 movies, 5 movies, is going to end with either Voldemort, Tom Riddle, entering Hogwarts, or with his, like, birth, or something of that nature. We're going to get a connection with Tom Riddle here. And like I said, we want the new stuff. We want an expansion of the universe, but we still want the what we came to see, and that's Hogwarts and that's Dumbledore. And that's why I think the second film, that comes out in a couple weeks, is going to be even more successful, because people saw it in the trailer, and you saw people freak out the second Hogwarts was shown.
I agree. I think that they have to connect this to the original saga more than just Dumbledore and more than just Hogwarts. They have to connect it to Voldemort or the prophecy or something. I would love if we saw a Professor Trelawney in these somewhere. I think that would be really cool.
It's just because like it is because this is taking place. So this is 1926, but like the whole the Grindelwald Dumbledore stuff to me, I think again, and I could be wrong. I think that all goes down during World War II.
I think so too.
So technically, we have 20 years to go
to get there.
If this is 1926,
I honestly, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have no fucking clue what year this started in. I made 1926 up.
I think you're right.
If I'm right,
no, I
then
really
I pulled that out of my ass and I just got really lucky.
The reason I say that is because I think subconsciously, you said you watched this movie like a week ago.
My uncle's a house elf.
Hey, buddy. It's like when anyone says anything about like Middle Easterners around me, I'm like, hey, whoa.
Gigglywater. This whole bar scene, this is a cantina scene.
This movie takes place in 1926, dude.
Does it really?
I think you subconsciously noted it last time you watched it. You said you watched it recently, right?
Yeah, like a week ago.
I bet you didn't remember that you remembered it.
I don't know that they ever say it.
I think it starts in I think there's a newspaper clipping, and you know the opening montage.
Oh, maybe you might be right.
I think it shows it. I think you saw that.
Maybe you know what? Yeah, you're right. I knew that the whole time.
I knew it the whole time. I like this scene too.
I do too. Again,
she's like an off-brand Jennifer Lawrence. I'm just gonna say that really fast. Anyway,
she's like, so like you have name brand.
Sorry.
you have name brand. Then you have like Walmart brand. Then you have like Aldi's brand. She's like the Aldi's.
Aldi.
She's like
Aldi gets you where you gotta go, man.
She's like the Aldi's brand of Jennifer Lawrence.
I mean the Aldi's. And that's
I love Aldi's,
and it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not
an
thing.
insult.
No, they have great produce.
Yeah, she is a good-looking woman. I'm gonna say that.
She has great produce.
I'm just saying she has similarities to Jennifer Lawrence and is just lacking in some of the similarities. But she's very pretty. I'm gonna say that. And it takes away. She's a great actress too.
She does a fine job.
Has she been in anything else? I'm trying to think.
Probably. I don't know.
I also like him.
This is a cool.
Yeah, I like this 1920s vibe. Speakeasy type hustler.
Yeah, it's prohibition time. I know a guy, but blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
You know you shouldn't trust him, but you have no choice.
Right.
You know it's going to go south, but you just have no choice.
Yeah, you've got no choice. So his fingers are like backwards.
As a negotiator, I negotiate for a living professionally. This is what I aim to be. Like that. That's what you're offering me. I got 5, bro.
Yeah. Even though really you don't.
I don't.
You're like, I really want that.
I just love lying and bluffing.
See, and that's why I'm the worst negotiator, because as soon as somebody's like, I have this, I'm like, fuck, I want one of those. That sounds awesome.
Nothing will ever make you feel worse as a negotiator, though, when you say something, you offer something, and then it's accepted.
Yeah.
And it looks like you won for a second. You're like, wait a second, that means I could have gotten more.
Yeah.
You literally, I'll go home and I'm like, fuck, I messed up. It's funny because everyone's like, well, I offered something and got it. You should be proud. No,
you need at least one back and forth.
This guy right here,
he knows what's up.
Never gets an acceptance on the first offer because he knows what's up. I feel bad for the boat trucker.
I felt really bad for the boat trucker, but he ends up back up with Newt.
Yeah.
Later.
Look at people betting over. It's like what Anakin went through, you know? People bet on his life like he was nothing.
So is Anakin the boat trucker or is Anakin
Yeah,
Newt?
Anakin's the boat trucker.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And
Qui-Gon's over here betting on his life.
Qui-Gon is Newt.
Oh, yeah. Qui-Gon is Newt.
Yeah. Newt's about to get chopped in half with a lightsaber.
Ooh, the Obscurus is Darth Maul.
Yeah.
And then we're never going to hear from them again. They create this amazing evil character.
Right.
And then we never...
Unless you watch the cartoons.
Yes, exactly. Or we can get into Solo.
But you have to watch the cartoons in order for that to make sense. He reminds me of my foreman. See, again, he's not a baker. He's a cannery person. Canary?
That's when you know I'm drunk. I'm like, shit's going all around me. I'm like, more shots? Yo, that would be you
one
right
more.
there. Like,
Oh, for
chaos
sure.
everywhere. And like, where's that?
I'm like, free shots for everybody, guys.
Guys, people are dying around me.
So this shit right here, I really thought it was the girl.
Yeah, I definitely did too. I thought they were making it too obvious for it to be him, but I like that it ended up working in this like, double time. Like, it was.
So
like,
whose wand is that? That's what I want to know. Did we ever find that out?
Hers.
Or her mom's or family?
It's hers.
It's hers?
Yeah.
So she is a witch.
No, I think she made it for fun. Yeah, I think she made it because she was, you know when you're like, they're so religious, they're so extreme, you resort to the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So when you're told as a kid, you can't have this, you can't have this, you can't have this, I bet she made it because, that's how her way to rebel.
I feel like if that was a real wand, I feel like they'd be harder to snap like that.
Yeah, I don't think it was a real
They're
one.
magic. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying in general.
Well, that's not true. Remember, because in Chamber of Secrets, Ron's wand.
Right.
Breaks,
I feel like they should be stronger.
Harry at the very end breaks the Elder Wand.
Yeah, but
like nothing.
It's not really the Elder Wand though.
No, he does break the Elder Wand.
No, he breaks Dumbledore's wand with little balls on it.
Yeah, that's Elder Wand.
No, it's not because the Elder Wand is now Malfoy's wand.
Right. Does he break? He breaks something.
He breaks Dumbledore's wand. He doesn't break the Hawthorne wand, which is Malfoy's wand, which is now the Elder Wand, because he disarmed the Elder Wand, which is Malfoy.
His wand was the Elder Wand.
So it ended up being Malfoy's wand.
Right,
is the
but
Elder
he
wand.
was holding.
He was holding.
Didn't he break that?
He didn't break that one.
I swear he broke
No, we broke the other one. He broke Dumbledore's
in the
wand.
movie, he broke the other one.
Maybe.
I think in the book he breaks the. Oh shit.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. The movie he for sure breaks the Dumbledore wand.
Right, but he keeps the Elder Wand.
Yeah.
Because Ron's got it right.
I understand that the movie doesn't get into wand lore.
It doesn't. You can't.
Because the movie is there's no actual Elder Wand. It's the one that beats the other wand.
Right.
So
it's an idea is the Elder Wand.
And so like they couldn't get into that.
No. Well, it's just like the house elf prejudice and everything. You couldn't get into any of that in the movies, which I thought was a fantastic aspect.
Here's what I want. I want a Game of Thrones style Harry Potter.
I want
that
HBO
would be to take Harry Potter and we get an episode for like every chapter or every couple chapters.
Yeah,
it'd
be sick.
And everyone would watch it. Even like, it wouldn't be like Game of Thrones because Game of Thrones is ahead of the books.
Yeah.
But like there's too many fans in the world for Harry Potter. People would watch it. Because it would give us everything that wasn't in the movies. It would give us every detail.
Pretty sure my mom listens to this, so it's gonna be a little fucked up. But you give me a naked Hermione, I'm all in.
Wait, now you tell me your mom's listening to this? I need to be aware of moms listening to this shit.
Pretty sure Hornacek's mom listens to it.
Oh, I
too.
know she does.
Yeah.
That's why I'm on here, baby. Why?
You just made beer come out my nose.
There's no way Hornacek's mom listens to like this extensive type of commentary, though, right?
I'm pretty sure she does.
Oh, jeez.
I'm almost positive she
You're
does.
such a good person. I'm sorry.
This was I like this one, too. I like this scene. Again, it doesn't get us anywhere in the story.
I like this type of. I like the creativity.
I like this scene. I don't like how it fits in the movie because it doesn't get the story any further other than, oh, I got all my beasts back. Yay.
I think it's great. I don't know. I like the aspect of how it.
Again, I'm not disagreeing. It's very creative. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with where they're going with the storylines, and I'm not a fan. Again, though, the acting is incredible. They're acting to nothing. It's got to be exhausting seeing that much green all the time.
Yeah. Have you heard the story of Sir Ian McKellen? When he was he's a very old, obviously, not to make a joke about his age, but old school type of actor. And he didn't have to do this on the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, but on The Hobbit, and for some reason we can get into this on why that movie was turned into, that book, the 250-page book, was turned into 3 movies, was heavily green screened. And he literally, there's like a backstory of he literally cried on set because he said this is not why he got into acting. Wow. He hated being in front of a green screen. Everything was CGI'd. He wasn't acting with other actors, and he was really upset.
It would be tough.
Yeah, he was just. I like this too. This is cool.
Yeah, again, it's a very well done scene. She puts a fucking bowl in her head.
Like this cockroach. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck you, cockroach.
Again, I love the scene. I love how it looks. I love everything about it.
But we're back to something silly after some serious shit.
Exactly. And I just don't like how it fits in the greater story.
It is a little disjointed. Yeah. You are wondering if you're watching 2 movies.
It is. Yeah.
You know, the more I think about it, again, it doesn't... Again, I'm being optimistic. It doesn't take away from my enjoyment aspect.
It's just confusing.
It feels
well, like and I'm going to take myself. I was 10 years old, 10 or 12, somewhere in that age, when the first Harry Potter movie came out. Not the book, the movie. And if I was 10 years old and I saw this movie, I would be very confused.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very serious at times, and it's hard to understand because it's more complex. And then at other times, it's like, it's silly and fun and light, and hey, there's a little old man monkey sloth and a snake with wings.
You're right. I think there's a lot of those kind of movies we saw when we were younger. Now that I'm older, I've rewatched from those movies, and I was like, man, this was a lot more serious than I remember.
Right.
And so, I don't know.
And then there's opposite where, like, especially for me, and we've had lengthy conversations about this off pod, Chamber of Secrets is one of I hate that storyline.
We got to do that.
I hate that storyline. I don't like the movie. I don't like the book. But as a kid, when I first saw it and I first read it, I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced cheese. Now that I'm older, I cannot fucking stand it.
When are we doing that podcast?
We're doing it soon.
We gotta. I don't hate Chamber. I mean, I don't love Chamber of Secrets, but man, we gotta. But you don't like the book.
I don't even like the book.
See, the book is actually why I got into Harry Potter. So I can't wait to get into that. We'll save that for next time. I'm excited about that one because we're gonna have a nice.
We'll get into it. We'll fight. I will also. I need to preface all this. I saw the first 2 movies before I read the first book. So when the 3rd movie was coming out is when I got caught up in the books. So I saw the movie before the book. I think that does taint me a little bit in that aspect, but I just think the fucking story's stupid. And it doesn't fit.
It's okay.
It doesn't fit in anything. Right, I am a little upset.
Hey, it's okay.
I'm also a little drunk.
If you're listening, his head is down. He's like really somber right now. I almost feel bad liking the movie. All right, man, I'll hate it. I'll hate it just for you.
Queenie's got it going on right now. I don't know. Her hair, her outfit.
So cute, man.
Yeah, man, whatever she's doing, she's got it. It's working for her. Okay, I don't understand this either. And also maybe because I'm a little drunk. So one of the Lestrange people he's in love with. Can you elaborate on that more? Because they don't really talk about it much in the movie.
I don't think I've seen enough to realize that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Is he in love with what?
He's
in love with a strange mother?
One of the Lestranges,
But they're too old, right? They're too young right now.
It's not Bellatrix or any of them.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That generation.
It's got to be 1 or 2 generations older than them.
So, because the original Harry Potter story takes place in the 90s.
Right, late 80s, early 90s.
That would put them at like 30, 40. So it's got to be their grandma.
Technically, Harry Potter was born in 88?
Something like that, yeah.
And
No, like 84.
84.
Because I think the first 91, 92.
90, yeah, I was going to say it was like 99 or 98 is when not episode 8. The 7th book, year 8, 4, whatever the fuck it is.
Basically takes place during the decade of the 90s.
Right.
Yeah. Because she based the timeline on when she was writing it. So obviously the first book wasn't published years after she wrote it.
First book was published in
97.
97?
Yes, 97, 98, 99, 2000 were the first 4 books. They were all in a row.
Right. And then we got
2003, 2005, 2007.
right, and 2001 was when the first movie came out. Yeah. And then it was every year.
It was every year, and then after that was every year and a half.
Right.
Until the last one.
Colin Farrell really does a great job in this.
I actually really like him as an actor.
I think
he does a good job.
I think he gets a bad.
I think I called him Colin Firth at the very beginning. I don't know. British actor with CF. I can't remember. I can remember saying Colin.
I think he isn't great at selecting roles that he plays. I think that he plays some roles really well, but I also think he doesn't select them well. I also think that he gets a really bad rap because the second season of True Detective is so fucking bad.
I still haven't watched it.
It's so fucking bad.
I still haven't watched it.
And I think that...
I did rewatch the first one.
Which is amazing.
How good is that?
Again, these two acting right here, anytime the two of them are in a scene...
I think the movie
they do a great job.
Cinematically... acting-wise is good. I just think the one problem, and I agree with you, is that it was inconsistently filmed.
Yes, they didn't know going into it. They knew they wanted to make another movie in the Wizarding World.
You gotta make that money.
Yeah, you got to make that money. You got to capitalize when you can capitalize, but they didn't know what movie they wanted to be. Did they want to appeal to younger generation that's 10, 12, 13 years old? Or did they want to appeal to the generation that grew up with the Harry Potter saga that are 25 to 35 years old? At times they appealed to one, at times they appealed to the other. I think they did a good job of appealing to everybody as best they could. I just think they should have picked one or the other.
Yeah, I'll be a little selfish here. Obviously, I'm going to be the one to say, hey, I'm in that age range. I'm the one who grew up and enjoyed it, and say they should have appealed to us a little more. And then because the only reason I think that is if you do that, then the young people will come around. They're going to rewatch the originals. They might reread the books. I mean, Harry Potter, the books haven't gone down in sales. Like, they are still consistent.
But own every single one. I think in paperback. Yeah. I think I own every one in
hardback. Doing the illustrated novels.
I have the first 2 illustrated, or however many they have illustrated.
Right now, you still see the Harry Potter section.
Pretty sure I have almost all of them in audiobook as well. They have made a shit ton of money off of me personally.
That's what I'm saying. So the young people, they'll come around. It doesn't disappear. You are more in danger of pushing people like me out.
Let me ask you this.
And pushing me up. Who hates Star Wars movies more than anyone? Honest question. Who hates Star Wars movies more than anyone? Star Wars fans.
Right.
That's what you alienate. That's what you actually have a chance of doing.
I think let me ask you this. Obviously, neither one of us were alive when the original Star Wars trilogy came out. Correct?
That is correct. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Who introduced you to the Star Wars universe?
Funny enough, I'll say this because I'm a first generation American.
Right.
Culture introduced me to Star Wars. My parents weren't really into that kind of stuff. It was culture.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. For me, it was my uncle. Mm-hmm. So the older generations or the people around you are going to introduce you to this.
Yeah, and Harry Potter is a cultural movement.
Harry Potter is a cultural movement. You don't have to appeal to younger kids to get them excited about it.
No, they want to be part of it.
Again, this little girl scares the shit out of me. I think this was a bigger reveal that cleavage.
You said this
cleavage
was cleavage the rest of the movie.
I think it's a bigger reveal that cleavage was the Obscurus than Grindelwald is. And we've talked about this off pod a little bit because the era and everything of who Grindelwald is. They needed a big name and they needed to make that big change.
My big thing is I think you're right about the reveal being bigger here. And it works a couple ways. And as much as I want to sit here and say they didn't need to do the Johnny Depp thing, they could have just been like, hey, Colin Farrell, oh, man, you're Grindelwald. I understand why they did it to an extent. If you're a casual viewer, which is the 70% of people watching this movie, I want to imagine everyone is as obsessed with Harry Potter as I am.
but they're not.
Reality tells us they're not.
The 70% of people who are watching it are going for just entertainment value. They don't know who Grindelwald is. They didn't read the books. They didn't see the references. They didn't read the 7th book where Grindelwald is all over the place, the relationship him and Dumbledore had, whether it be romantic or rivalry or whatever.
We don't even need to get into that.
And we'll talk about that later.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think in subsequent movies they're going to
I hope so.
get into that?
I'm actually a favorite. I actually hope they do.
I hope they do too, because it was a big... It was never really explained. That was a...
They're definitely lovers, in my opinion. But we'll get,
It was never explained. It was never said. It was more... J.K. Rowling said, well, yeah, duh.
Yeah. And
I really hope that they look at that and they explore that idea.
Exactly. I hope they do too, because it's new.
It's new, and I think it really adds to why Dumbledore can't go after him.
Yeah. No,
or wasn't able to go after him for so long.
That's the true reason he couldn't. He was in love with him. But if you're a casual reviewer, I go back to the fact that the problem is, if you're just watching it and you have no idea who the fuck Grindelwald is, you've never even heard that name, and the end of the movie is Colin Farrell sitting there arrested, and then they're like, "We've got you now, Grindelwald," and he's like, "Oh no, you found me out." Everyone in the theater would be like, "What? Who is this?" It's not a true, like, to me,
it's not a real reveal.
I would see like, "Oh shit," me and Banner would be like, "Oh my god,"
yeah,
and everyone else in the theater would be like, "Okay." They had to do the Johnny Depp thing so that the 70% of people sit there and go, "Wow, he's Grindelwald." They go, "Oh wow, he's a completely different character overall." So they enjoyed the twist, and I enjoyed the twist. I might not have enjoyed it as much because I didn't need to see that, but I get why they did it. It's something that
Grindelwald could have fucked this chick up right here.
Thank you. That was something I thought too. Like, he's supposed to be the most powerful wizard in the world, rival to Voldemort, who's not even alive yet, and Dumbledore. Like, shouldn't he be just like wrecking this hoe? Like, come on, man.
Unless he was trying to not reveal himself yet. But at the same time, she knows something's up. Maybe not that he's Grindelwald, but she knows that he's bad. So they should be. I mean yeah, he should have killed her. Like,
he has an end
no
game,
witnesses.
Right? He's not gonna hide forever. His end game, and you and I talked about this off pod. Like, his end game is to, again, and this is gonna go back to the casual viewer, is to get the wizarding world and the no-magic Muggle world to be one. Yeah. And so he doesn't care. At some point, he's going to make a move. I don't know why he has to be bashful.
I'm going to make a bold statement here.
Got a hot take coming.
I think Grindelwald is almost a better villain than Voldemort.
Wow, that is a hot take.
Because Voldemort wanted to eradicate the Muggles. Mm-hmm. Grindelwald, I'm not going to say he wanted to unite them, but he didn't necessarily want to eradicate them as far as we know it to this point.
I think he just wanted to be like out and about and be like,
yes,
bro, we're wizards. And
we're here. You guys are here. We can live, maybe not harmoniously, but we can.
Greater good.
But it was the greater good. I think a big thing that makes a villain so appealing and is so great is that if you really think about it, you're like, I can relate to that. I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, part of me would be like, if I was a wizard too, I'm like, why do I gotta hide?
Why am I hiding? I mean, it's that whole.
I mean, Geiger is disfigured and hideous and gigantic. He doesn't hide who he is.
No, he doesn't. No. It goes back to the whole Sith and Jedi thing, dude. The Sith, they've really got it.
The Sith, man.
Yeah, they've got it right. It's this whole thing too. I'm not saying how they're going about it is correct, but at the core idea of why he's doing this, he's got some good points, man.
Yep. He's got good points. Like, I agree. And plus, like, I never understood why they live together. Muggles would benefit from that, man. They have potions that could cure shit. If Muggles could get over their own prejudices.
Which we all know we can, obviously. Yeah, it's 2018. There's pretty much no prejudice in this world anymore.
Look, our president loves everyone. We all get along. Everyone.
Yeah, everything's happy. It doesn't matter what race or sexual orientation you are. Everybody gets along.
So we're back in the serious side of the movie. I do like this. You really feel for cleavages. Credence, some people call them, but cleavages pain here. As someone who's been, I mean, you understand it, repressed, abused his whole life. Like, I understand we didn't ever know what an Obscurus was, but it makes sense about this kind of ideological, magical aspect clashing. What do you do if you're this extreme and still
hate what you are.
In Redmond's portrayal of his pulling on past experiences, all we know is that he came across a very similar situation with an 8-year-old girl in Africa. This scene, I think, really, he does a good job, and I think he did a lot of reflection to prepare for
He
this.
blessed the rains down in Africa, and that really is what helped her
Yeah.
out. And I thought that was a beautiful.
He was just hanging out with Toto. I think he really pulled on that, and he did a good job of going, there's this idea. All we know is it's an 8-year-old girl in Africa. And from that, he was able to draw on his experiences without actually us seeing those experiences. They showed us, they didn't tell us.
Yeah, I like this.
And I think that's
I
fantastic.
think, again, I'll go back. The acting in this overall is great. I thought everyone sold it.
Yeah. That's not my problem with the story. My problem with the movie is the story. It's so inconsistent.
I still will say, I'll stand by what I said at the beginning of the pod. I still find this movie really entertaining. I don't find it amazing. I don't find it great. I don't find it groundbreaking. But I would have no problem putting this movie on in the background and watching it.
If I want to watch a movie about... We can't say a Harry Potter movie anymore.
Yeah.
We can't say that. If I want about the Wizarding World, which is really cool because there's a billion movies about wizards and witches.
You can do...
But
it's endless.
It's endless. But if I want to watch a movie about the Wizarding World, I am not putting this one in.
Yeah, probably not, because I'm always going to defer to the 8 movies, but I'm not going to... I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right, because I'll be honest, I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
It came out in, what did we say, 2016?
2 years ago.
Okay.
I
And
probably watched it. I definitely watched it in theaters, obviously.
Right.
I watched it when I bought the DVD.
okay,
That
so
might have been the last.
that's 2. And now we hear 2 years later, you're watching it for the
Yeah,
third time.
Maybe. I might be
And
4.
in
Maybe
that,
it's 4.
okay,
Maybe. Like,
we'll just
be
round up
optimistic.
and we'll say 5.
Yeah.
So in 2 years, you have watched this one 5 times.
Yeah.
Any of the other Harry Potter movies, how many times have you watched any in particular one of those?
Minimum 10.
See?
I mean, you're right. But, it's funny, though. But I also had that just, affinity for it because of the books.
I see it. I feel it. And again, our age group, and we grew up with them. This is a feel-good movie.
I'm rewatching. I don't hate it. Not in a bad way. I don't even think it's not good. I think it's just fine. I think it's entertaining.
It does what it needed to do.
And I'll say this. Even though this was a reintroduction in the world, it had only been 6 years.
It wasn't that
movies.
long.
It wasn't that long. We deal with more. I will say I am much more excited in a couple of weeks for getting Crimes of Grindelwald than I was for this.
I was not super excited for this. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was the marketing, man. It wasn't the movie that they marketed. The name of the movie is not the movie. And I think that was a big problem with it.
But it's funny because you also didn't like some of the scenes with the animals.
Yeah, but that's because the story they were telling was about Grindelwald.
I mean, I get it.
You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's.
I mean, I feel it. It's
so,
disjointed.
It's so here and there and there and here. This is her best acting in the movie.
Aldi, Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. The Aldi's version of Jennifer Lawrence does a fantastic job.
But she's
in this
cute.
film.
It's not like
No,
she's bad.
I
Like, it's so funny. It makes it seem like she's like... But it's funny, though. It's like someone who's never been to Aldi makes fun of Aldi. Then you go to Aldi, you're like, this place
actually,
is pretty
Aldi's is pretty bitchin'.
This place is
It's
pretty awesome.
cheap and it's good.
And it's well worth it. It's just the same quality, if not better.
If not better. The only thing is, I would not recommend the rice. The Spanish rice that you can buy? Yeah, I don't recommend that.
I don't think I've ever had the Spanish rice from Aldi.
Yeah, the Spanish rice from Aldi's isn't great. But everything else is fantastic. The best produce in the biz.
There's nothing wrong with going to Aldi over Whole Foods.
I can't believe in the climax of the movie we're talking about fucking Aldi's.
We're
True
a fan
Bro
of
4
those.
Squad fashion here. There's Nick Cage's dad again.
Yeah, look at them kill. This is sad. This
This
good.
is.
This is the animal lover in you, because it's obviously something crazy, but doesn't mean you got to put something down.
Right.
They didn't understand it.
Again, being somebody that was in an industry, I worked at an aquarium for almost 10 years. One of the hardest things is you care for this being for however long and for whatever reason, whether it bit somebody or it's old age, putting it down is the hardest thing ever.
And it didn't want to be like that.
No, it just wanted to be understood and it wanted to be accepted, and cleavage just nobody would accept him, and that's unfortunate.
See, here is a little bit where we see the Grindelwald thing. We do get a tiny bit. See, he's saying concealing our true nature. So we do get a little bit.
And again, I think Colin Farrell did a fantastic job of playing that character and really building up. You see hints of this. If you actually think about the words he's saying in this scene, you were like, wait a minute, he really was acting upon these earlier when he's talking to Cleavage, and he's
oh my God,
what's his name?
Credence. No, I'm never gonna not call him Credence. It's always gonna be Cleavage.
Yeah.
No, I think we get a little bit, but still, you still don't know who the fuck.
But you still have no idea what it is. But they give us just the tip. You're like, you know what? That felt good. Give me a little more.
Yeah. I think there are parts of this movie that are, especially the deep fandom I have, I'm like, yes, let's see it. Let's do more.
I try and
it's like half.
I know,
like
and I try and when movies are based on books, which there's so many movies that are based on books. When I've read the book, I try to separate the two. It is so hard, and for whatever reason, I'm able to do that in this movie, and I don't like how inconsistent they are. You know, so she said Accio and not Asio.
The magical powers reflect on accent. They're like,
right.
You said Accio.
Yeah, you said Accio, so like I don't think that I can give you the wand.
It's not Leviosa. It's Leviosa.
Leviosa.
See, again, I get, like, for me, I'm like, just say you're Grindelwald, but I get to the casual viewer, you're like, what? He's someone else?
It has to be drastic.
Yeah.
Again, I knew Johnny Depp was in it. I knew he was Grindelwald. So this reveal was spoiled for me.
How was it spoiled? Did you just read it online?
I read it online. I'm a sick person.
So, yeah, if you're a casual viewer, I forgot, there was the beginning of the movie, there was that the newspaper montage.
Yep.
And it said Grindelwald missing.
Yeah, and
but still, that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything, and you see the back of his head. Now, I also think that his haircut here is just stupid, and I think that's part of the reason I don't like it.
That's literally my haircut.
I know, and I think it's retarded.
What the fuck?
I absolutely hate it.
You told me how much you loved my hair.
Yeah, well, I was just being nice.
I got married with this haircut.
That's on you.
No, you told me, hey, man, if I'm you, I get married with that haircut.
Yeah, but it was a joke. It was like, yeah, totally, man. You should totally get that haircut.
I believe everything you say. Like the time you told me this film was at the same time of the Titanic.
It is at the same time as the Titanic.
I love that you said that, but you were actually right on your first guess.
I know. I had no idea it took place in 1926. I had no idea.
There's no way. I love that. I did think this was a nice little.
Yeah.
The animals saved the day with the rain.
Again, they flipped the story that they were telling. Like, it is about fantastic beasts and how they are and who they are and where to find them and all this stuff. But
yeah, you're right.
Also, how American is it to name your bird Frank?
I will always say I love animals with very human names.
Like Gregory.
Yeah, like just name your dog John. Like that would be hilarious.
Like, or name your dog Joe. I had a dog named Joe in college.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
It's a great story though.
Shit smell. Of all time, that Banner made me clean up all by myself because he went to a basketball game.
I didn't make you.
I was gonna sit in that house with that smell. Like for the next 2.5 hours.
Just for the record, never asked you to clean up the shit. You just couldn't stand the smell.
Yeah, because that was such a normal smell.
Yeah.
That dog had the smelliest shits.
He did. That's also because I fed him Cinnamon Toast Crunch and tortilla chips for dinner. So what is this little vial that he gives this? What is this? What's Frank? What kind of animal is he? Do we know?
I thought he was a hippogriff.
He's not a hippogriff. There's no way he's a hippogriff. Comment below if you know what fucking animal he is. We'll mention you on the next something.
I mean, I guess I could look it up.
Yeah. It's not really our style, though. That's like a Hornacek thing to look it up. So his ability is to just make a monsoon or a hurricane over the city.
Yeah, I guess. Make it rain. Make it rain, man.
He's like Lil Wayne. All right, so here's another problem I have with the story. So everybody that touches the water is obliviated.
Thunderbird.
Okay, he's a Thunderbird. Again, that's a stupid name. So everybody that touches the water is obliviated.
Mm-hmm. What happens if you're inside?
Do what?
What happens if you're inside?
Well, not only that, but there are wizards that are outside that are touching the water. Why are they not getting obliviated? So this chick drinks the water. What about this dude? Or the kid?
I mean, they all got to drink water eventually.
Eventually, but that could take weeks. How often do I drink water? I drink more beer than I do water.
But there's water in that beer.
Not in that. Well, yeah, but not the.
See, he's
this
showering.
kind of beer.
You got to shower, don't you?
Again, it could be weeks. Especially in 1926.
But what if there's a beer in that shower?
A shower beer is It's the best beer in the world.
That is the best beer.
It is the best beer. I don't
It's
know.
still filmed cool.
It is filmed very cool. Story-wise, there's a big plot hole for me here.
It's so funny though. Like,
I just can't get over it.
There's a plot hole in this movie about magic.
This is one of the plot holes that if it happened earlier in the movie, I would not be able to get it out of my head. Is that the World Trade Center?
Oh my god, no.
Or the Empire State Building? I'm sorry. I fucked that up. That was really fucked up of me. I really, honest to God, meant the Empire State Building.
Maybe. I don't know when the Empire State Building was built.
If you guys could look that up for us, that'd be great. I feel really bad. That was it wasn't meant to be a joke. It was very insensitive. I, honest to God, meant the Empire State Building.
I don't think anyone who listens to this podcast is going to be upset at you.
I don't think they are either.
No one's mad. You didn't say anything mean. Completed in 1931, so I bet it was.
I bet it's the Empire State Building.
I bet it was it. I bet it was being built. I love when people say that we owe you great debt. Can you just be like, so how about like $1 million?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. She's like, we owe you a great debt. Now get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Like, wait. So like, you can't just walk away after saying you owe me. Like, let's talk about that price. You don't need to. Why couldn't he just been cool and be like, no?
I am kind of excited. Not excited. I'm interested to see how they're going to bring him back.
Because he is back.
Because he is back. We've seen him in the trailer. I thought he was a great character in this. He added, like you said earlier, a dynamic and a point in the movie that something we never got. That was a cool. It was interesting to see.
I bet you.
It's got to do something with Queenie
I
and
agree,
Teenie.
but here's what I don't want to happen. I don't want something like they kiss and he remembers. I don't want it to be this like fucking that pokes a hole in the wizarding world.
I don't think it will
that
be.
A kiss will like no like
I don't think it will be because they show him with his bakery later on and she walks in and he doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, but he also gives her a little look. I'm just saying I don't want them to randomly kiss and he's like, oh shit, it's you. Like I just want it to be like an actual genuine like he never actually remembers any of this. He just gets reintroduced to them.
That would be really funny.
I would rather. I'm just saying.
Either that or honestly, they go, "We need his help." Hey, here's a spell.
But
abracadabra, you remember.
If there's a spell, then that pokes a hole in the whole obliviate thing. And why couldn't they have done that? So what's the point of obliviate when they remember they were talking about in the original books, like characters were obliviated that was causing the chaos.
I think you're reading too much into this, Cycly.
I just don't want a hole. I don't want a hole. I hope.
There's going to be a hole. There's going to be a hole.
I just want him to be reintroduced to them and casually enjoys their company.
If you're okay,
I'm just saying.
Not to. What you're saying is dumb, and I agree.
You're saying is dumb. You're dumb.
If I'm Jacob here, I'm like, look, I know I'm going to forget all this. Can you just give me an umbrella? Let's run back to your place real quick.
Like, yeah. Oh
let's just do this. We've been dancing for way too long.
Yeah.
Let's just make this happen.
Yeah,
Let me put it in your butt, and then I'll forget.
Seconds. Give me 20 seconds.
Then I'll forget.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's the 20s. They still sew people up in the sack at this point, right?
Man, like, come on.
Yeah.
At least show me your boots.
Yeah. I'm gonna forget. Newt, turn around. Just Newt, turn around. Let me do this.
I like how she's like, what is she thinking it's gonna like?
Well, and here's another thing. Okay, so does she put the umbrella on so she doesn't get obliviated?
Which makes no sense.
Which doesn't make any sense
they
because
showed magical people.
Because we saw magical people in the rain earlier. Completely dumb. Completely, absolutely, 100% dumb. I don't agree with this relationship and how it's ending or starting or whatever. I don't like it.
Maybe she just put a spell with that kiss and was like, when our lips touch again, you'll remember.
So it's like when a princess kisses a frog?
Yeah.
That's
he
dumb.
looks like a frog.
That's stupid.
I mean, I'm just saying. I just want it to be foolproof when they reveal if he remembers them.
We all know it's not going to be foolproof.
It's not, is it?
There's
I will
already
be happy. Like I said, I just want him to casually start hanging out with them.
I think it would be cool if he doesn't remember this event and he is in the next one. I think that would be cool. I actually didn't think of that before, and now that you say that, I'm going to be really upset if they don't go that route.
That's what I want.
They're not going to go that route.
No, they're not.
But I'm going to be upset now.
That's what I want.
God damn
They're
you.
going to fucking kiss, and he's going to be like, oh, sure, it's Queenie.
He's like, oh, yeah, I love you, Queenie or Teeny, whichever one you are.
Queenie and Teeny.
Also, did you know I'm really rich and have a bakery? I can make the best strudels and pies.
I would totally go to the strudel place.
Dude, no shit, man.
What's sad is he has no idea there's about to be a fucking huge economic crash in a few years.
Okay, here's another. Well, correct. Here's another thing that I have a problem with. All right, so Newt drops this briefcase and trades in briefcases, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Oh my god, I can't pick it up. What the fuck is in here? Opens it up. What are these?
What?
Alchemy eggshells. How the fuck is a bank that is nomads or muggles or whatever gonna take a magical item as collateral to open a bakery?
Are we sure they're magical?
What's an alchemy
I have
eggshell?
no idea.
That's my point exactly. It's got to be magical.
Now I gotta look this shit
It's
up.
got to be magical. It's just it doesn't make sense. It's a plot hole. It's stupid. Another reason that I don't like this movie.
Now I didn't think about that. Are we sure it's not?
It's an alchemy eggshell. It's not a real thing. There's no way it's a real thing.
He leaves a case of alchemy eggshell. What the hell is an alchemy eggshell? Oh man, if you guys know this.
Comment below, along with like 15 other things that we got wrong in this movie. I'm going to make another bold statement. Not that this is a bad movie, but it's the worst Wizarding World movie.
Even worse than Chamber of Secrets. Are you going to say this? I want to hear you say it.
Is
this worse than Chamber of Secrets? Wow.
I will say this.
So the move, okay. An alchemy egg is an egg made of pure silver. So I see. I had no idea.
I did not know that. So, okay, let me ask you this: in real life today,
I have no.
Can
idea
I pick up an alchemy egg?
I don't think so.
Can I go buy an alchemy egg at the silver store?
Everything is in. Oh, it's actually interesting. It's mentioned in the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
I don't remember this.
I didn't. I mean, that was a book written for charity. That was interesting to me. So, I mean, if okay, let's just say they should have just said, hey, here's a bunch of silver.
I would agree with that. If they said, hey, here's some fucking money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's some key-ish money.
Yeah.
Here's some Bitcoin, bro.
Dude, Bitcoin.
Look, it's not worth shit right now, but in 100
But look,
years.
in like 115 years, not 116, but 115.
Are you saying we're back in 1912 again?
Yeah. That's when this takes place. It's 1912.
He's getting on the Titanic right now.
He's getting on the Titanic sister ship.
The Britannia.
The Britannia. That didn't make it, but didn't respond to the SOS.
I don't think the Britannia was out and about.
Here's something I learned the other day. So did you know SOS doesn't actually mean anything? Some people say it says save our ship. Some people say it means save our souls. But in reality, it doesn't mean anything.
I actually did know that.
All right. Well, I'll go fuck myself.
No, I don't think our fans, because they're dumb, had any idea.
No, I'm pretty sure our fans would have known that.
No, our fans are the stupidest people in the world.
Why do you hate our fans so much?
I love them. Because they're all from Arizona.
Oh, my God. Only our Arizona fans would not have known that because they're a landlocked state. They're a landlocked state, and so they don't know anything about water.
Enjoy that desert you got going on over there, Arizona.
Oh my god!
I really hope there's like one guy listening to this in Arizona, like, what the fuck?
Please, you know what? If you listen from Arizona, you have to comment below.
If you've made it this far.
If you've made it this far, you will be mentioned on a subsequent show, whether it's a review, whether it's an episode,
And you and I
whether
can
it's
go
a commentary. Tweet at Mr. Cycly here. Cycly, what's your Twitter handle?
Ronnie Cycly.
That's what I said. And you guys need to duke this out. Don't worry, Arizona. I got your back at BBannertastic.
Hey, Arizona State, you guys got hot chicks, though. I'll say
Arizona State is one of the best party schools ever. Actually, did you know Ryan Banner almost went to Arizona State?
I did not know that.
I did. Yeah, I there's a long. My grandfather,
Imagine the STDs you'd have had.
my grandfather, and my father both went to Arizona State. I almost went there. Instead, I didn't. So I just didn't fail out of there, and I failed out of somewhere else. Again, how delicious does this bread look? Dude, you can make some serious fucking sandwiches on that.
I want all of this. Like, I
Again,
understand why he's giving her a look, though. It's like this cute chick's coming
oh,
up
it
to
doesn't
you.
matter. Yeah, whether you have history or not. Yeah.
She's way too happy.
You
So I
gotta
would
put
act
it
like
on.
I knew her, too.
I'd be like, yeah, what's up? We had that one thing that one time. How's your mom?
See, that whole smile, though, if they're like, he remembers her, then I'm going to be like, no, don't do it.
And that's how they end it. Again,
David
what
Yates, bro.
fucking kind of movie is this?
It was happy and it was serious and it was.
They have no
I
idea.
hope
You don't
they
know.
have-
You can't answer that question.
But the thing is, here's my concern. The movie continues being called Fantastic Beasts. If they just went straight into the Grindelwald Dumbledore story, I'd be fine about it. But if they're going to still be called Fantastic Beasts, is there still going to be this aspect with animals all over the place? That's my concern.
I just don't see how you
Are they
can
still
fit the
gonna be
two.
disjointed?
I don't see how you can fit the two stories together. You had two movies in one right here. You have to pick a direction.
And obviously at this point you have to pick the Grindelwald Dumbledore one.
You have to. It's
And
the
I'm not
only.
saying Newt
It's the
shouldn't
only
be a part of it.
No, it's only the compelling story. And I honestly think Newt should be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying stop with the animals.
I would agree with that statement, guys. This has been Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Wait, what?
Yes.
This wasn't Goonies?
No.
Oh my God.
No wonder everything you said doesn't make any sense. Any last thoughts, Cycly?
Other than fuck Arizona, I'll stand by the fact that I think this movie was entertaining. It wasn't amazing. I think I can't fully judge this movie until I see where they go with the second one and the potential third and so forth, so on and so forth. I will just say I enjoy it. I think it's a good movie. I think it's acted well. It's filmed well. It definitely has its flaws, but at the end of the day, that's not going to stop me from rewatching it. What about you?
You say that, but yet you haven't rewatched it since it came out. I would agree. I think this movie is going to be made better with subsequent movies. With that being said, I don't like movies that do that. There are lots of movies that they make one movie and they hope that subsequent movies make that one better. I think the Divergent series is a failure of that. They went on, hey, this movie's going to be better because of the other ones, and then the other ones weren't good, so that one sucked even more. That's a whole nother story. I don't like movies that do that and series that do that. I do think they will be successful in this, and this movie will be much better later on this year when we're recording this, and in subsequent years as subsequent movies come out.
Yeah. I got a question for you, by the way.
Yes,
Sorry, were you done?
I think so.
I kind of interrupted you.
You're fine. You're just an asshole.
I mean, that's the fact. If, really quickly, there was one other story, one-off, Harry Potter series, world you want, quickly, what would it be? Would it be Grindelwald? Would it be something else? Because I have mine. If you want me to start.
I honestly, if you asked me before this came out, we knew they were going down the Grindelwald storyline, I would have liked Harry Potter, but instead of Harry Potter, it was Tom Riddle, and watch him come up from year one up through year 7. I would have loved that.
I love that. That's
I
great.
also think, though, your statement earlier, you said HBO needs to take it over. If that storyline happened, it has to be HBO or Netflix original, where you can make it TVMA and you can make it dark, you can make it gritty. That's what I would love to see.
Orgasmic right there. I agree. I that's a good point. I didn't really think about, like, Tom Riddle in school would be sick.
Yeah.
I was gonna say mine was gonna be the Marauders in school. Harry's parents in school.
That would have been cool
because
too.
You get Dumbledore. You get Dumbledore, obviously, but you get Voldemort at the height of his power in his first run.
You really
Man,
really see how scary he is.
Yeah, but I would love to see Voldemort going through his changes.
I think
there's so much potential.
Yeah, I think that getting a Voldemort story or a Tom Riddle story of evolving into Voldemort would be incredible, because that's kind of
they have to go to that direction.
They have to, right? Because
Eventually.
I mean, again, I don't know why we're going back to this, but it's the Star Wars saga. It's the Star Wars kind of, you get the middle of the story, in my opinion, in Harry Potter.
Yep.
So now we have to go to a prequel, which
You run the risk.
you run a risk, that's for sure. But I think
But I
that
still want to see it.
I would love to see it. I would.
And you know what? Like I said earlier, Star Wars fans hate Star Wars movies. I don't like the idea of it, but I'm okay with it.
I think Star Trek, I think you can say the same thing about Star Trek fans.
True fans hate their shit. They love it and they hate it
Yeah,
at the same time.
I would
Same way with my sports teams. I love my sports teams, and I hate them at the same damn time. It's the world we live in now.
That's right.
The wizarding world. Is where
All right. I think we're done at that point. Guys, we are the Bro Force Squad podcast. I'm Brian Banner. For our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. You guys can check all of our shit out at www.broforcesquad.com. Go ahead and give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Bro4Squad. I'm at BBannertastic. Cycli.
Ronnie Cycli.
It's an at Ronnie Cycli. Subscribe to us on YouTube and on iTunes. Check out the Squad blog. I think that's everywhere that we're at. Basically, if you throw Bro4 Squad podcast into Google, you're going to find us. Look us up. Give us a like, whatever you want.
If you're from Arizona, go fuck yourself.
And if you're from Arizona, you are my favorite fan. They think that's about it.
I think that's about it.
I think that's about
we had
it.
a good time.
That was a good time. Everybody, ciao for now.
Bye.
Bye. Why would I say that?
I don't know.
Ciao for now. Have I ever said that in my
That's
life?
the weirdest thing you've ever heard.
And I've said